All right, all right. What's up, y'all? What's up, y'all? Just hoping people coming in, give y'all a little chance to come in and everything. So yes, it's a repeat of not basically a repeat, a redo of last week. Internet was all messed up last week.
Technical difficulties every
The
time.
house. Yes, it was crazy since 1 o'clock that morning, and I said, okay, I'm gonna go to sleep. Everything will be well. Wake up, it was still going on. It was in and out, in and out. So the time we was on internet, I said, all right, it was going good. And then it stopped again. I was like,
Your
it was
internet is
not
based on weather, bro. The weather is
yeah.
fucked up. The internet about to be fucked up. Okay.
Yeah. Yes, yeah. So let me put out intro and then we can start the topic. Or we can start check in and then we can do the topic.
Mizzle social corner. I got a question for you. Are you ready to answer? Mizzle social corner. I got a question for you. Are you ready to answer? Mizzle social corner. I got a question for you. Are you ready to answer? Mizzle social corner. I got a question for you.
Thank you, Brandy. How you doing? What's going on? Hey, Tracy. What's going on?
I
How
love
you
you,
doing?
Tracy.
All right.
Why my headphones are not
So Brandy said, look all this chocolate and handsomeness on the screen. Thank you. I
You know what I'm saying? I can try.
know, right? Oh, hey,
So
Alec.
calm
How
down, Tracy. What happened? She having technical difficulties too right now. Look at
you? I'm good.
her. You can always tell when Tracy is perturbed
Yes.
because
So,
of her face.
oh yeah, she said, "What's her headphones? What's going on today?" Yeah. So yes, so this is a kind of redo of the celebrities be role models. So I had selected two articles that we're going to talk about. One of the articles we have like two things that was talked about, and another article it was a long list one, and we're going to dissect that and give our opinions on that. And the clip that you send me, Sonia, of Little Kim saying about how she feel about being role model, I'm going to play that and we're going to discuss that, and we're going to have a little conversations about that. So while we talking, I know people might have come in because people coming for work and stuff. I chose 8 o'clock because I know people will be home by the time, but different time zones.
Different time zones. You just got to advertise Mo and let him know.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. Like, so the start is, what do you look for in a role model? What qualities are you looking for? And who, as example, do you deem as a role model? It could be anybody. They don't have to be celebrities. But we will talk about celebrities as role models, but it could be anyone.
Well, I have a lot of them, from celebrities to basic people. I would say the basic one is my goddad, Peter, because he's a military vet and he's gay, open, you know. Um, and he's been through some shit. And he taught me how to do wood carvings, do clay, like fatherly stuff I didn't learn until like my early 20s, because he taught me those things. So I would say he's one of my heroes because he was like a real like down to earth, like he wanted peace because he'd already been to war, he's already a homosexual, and he was like, I just want peace in my life, and that's what he strived for to share with everybody.
I hear that. Oh, he froze. Okay. Tracy, so what qualities do you look for as a role model? And who do you look up to as a role model if you have any? Celebrities or not celebrities, anyone.
Okay. So qualities I look for in a role model is somebody that I would want my child to end up like. So if I look at that person's life and say, you know what, I would be happy if my child ended up in this life. Those are people I look for as role models. If I wouldn't want my child to do it, then I'm not gonna look at
Mm-hmm.
you as a role model. Like that's just period point blank. Like that's the easiest way I can probably describe it to anybody. So a lot of times people are like, "Oh my gosh, Cardi B is a role model." I was like, if you want to be a stripper or a prostitute, I guess. not, not my particular occupation, so probably not. But I guess if that's the life you want to live, whatever floats your boat, I guess. But when I look at people who I would say I would want, I look at as role models, it's always going to be, the Obamas, like period point blank. Like you could clearly be like, oh, the Obamas. That would be like now our
Mhm.
ideal of black excellence or something or someone that you would kind of look up to. Um, but I got my son into the Urban League here, and they're partnered with the Obama Foundation and the NAACP. And I have met or seen so many different people from so many different backgrounds that I probably would have not known or seen, that I
Mhm.
would think of to be like, oh my gosh, oh, you're just a regular business owner, but you owned your own business for 30 years and you've been successful at it and you've been able to mentor other people to either start their business or you have got them into your business and then successfully transitioned them to, higher paying roles at your company. So things like that where you make an impact not just on yourself, but on
Mhm.
your community. Is definitely people that I would say probably would be more of a role model. I mean, I liked Little Kim growing up, but I never wanted to be like her. I was well,
Hey Rose, how you
maybe,
doing?
but no. Um, but so there's just things where I was like, hmm. We all have different ideas of, I guess, what a role model is.
Mhm. So for me, I look at for someone who has that natural ability to inspire people, to influence people, and just not always take things for granted, but just know they're human and they learn from the things and they teach people from their ups and their downs, their positives and the negatives, and someone who could just show you the ropes and stuff like that. So, and yes, I like people say the bombers when they come on the screen. I enjoy their excellence and they presence on the television. Um, because in my personal life, I mean, I grew up in a single parent household, so I always look up to my mother. So she was a role model who been there, a strong woman who handled two boys on her own, did everything, worked hard, taught us how to cook, to clean everything, taught us how to treat herself. And like, I felt, even though she had her own struggles, I just felt like she pushed through those struggles and be the man and person I am today. So I always appreciate her as my role model and stuff like that. And it's called celebrities. I never really care for celebrities. I like celebrities as entertainers, but I never look up to them as a personal pedestal that I say, oh my gosh, I gotta be them. Maybe if I want to be an entertainer, I say, listen, I gotta model this person to be a great one this dance floor. I need to model this because at one time I had a bad dance background, so I say, you know what, I was gonna become a dancer, something like that. So with our added
So
school, I
you
was
would
wanted to
look
go
up
to
to
that.
Cardi B?
Look at
Oh, not that type of dancer. Oh, my bad, my bad. Oh, I'm sorry.
Mizzle wanted to be a stripper. He was a stripper.
Exactly. Like,
He was a
oh, chocolate
stripper.
nails. I could see it. I could see it.
Sure, listen, I could be a stripper one day if I had one. Well, that's like, hey, Rose, how you doing? Welcome to the chat. First time you in my chat, so welcome. Hope you be joining more in the future. All right, so the topic. So I chose that. Why I asked y'all who y'all qualities and role models and everything in the chat. Y'all could chime in as well to tell me who y'all think qualities is and what role models are. It's because celebrities are people who we look up to entertain us. And that's all the main purpose is. They sign up to entertain us. They sign up to make music, to make money and stuff like that. It comes to the problem where they, whether they like it or not, automatically got deemed role models for people. People look up to them. They think they the staples people for everyone. They make money. They entertain us, but they also might be great and everything else. So we look up to them. So, but sometimes what people, the celebrities do wrong, then people get so upset and then would take the role model card away from them. So you throw the card at them and then you take it away or stuff like that because that.
You
But
know what,
uh
Miz?
huh.
because they try to market themselves like they're the damn Gap. When the Gap come out with some Supreme skinny stretch jeans, they give you every bit of advertisements to draw you in, so everybody will have them jeans. When these celebrities come out, they do everything to draw you in, to make them a likable person, an
Mhm.
entertaining person, a person worth your purchase, worth the listening to, you know. But for them to be like, I'm not a role model, is a cop out because if we look at if we look at the artists build
Mhm.
up, they come out as like wholesome. Then next album they got some plastic surgery, they cussing a little bit, you know what I'm saying? Now they collaborating with this person, they're building up the influence that they think we have as consumers. Fucking musicians are the only reason why we have internet influencers is because they influence people with actually having a skill. But now these influencers just get on there and do this, and I influence somebody. So of course you're influencing someone to be like you, to mirror their actions. So them saying they're not a fucking role model, I don't care if it's Gucci Man because he's a dirtbag. I don't care if it's Celine Dion, who I see as an angel. They do market themselves to be likable, to be followed, so they are putting themselves to be role models.
Tracy, your
So,
thoughts? What is that?
um, I would definitely say that I don't necessarily agree with that. And
Mhm.
the reason that I say that is because I know a lot of people who wanted to be a drug dealer because they needed money. Selling drugs was an easy, quick way to make money. They idolize the guy who was on the block doing this, doing that, nice car, money, this is that, and the third. So when you have little to nothing and you see it accessible right there, it's like, oh, I want to do that. So sometimes it isn't necessarily that they put themselves out to be role models. It's when you are, some people who are struggling and are hungry see that if I just do this, I can be, I can make money. Like, let's be honest, we have 100,000 little something or other who can't rap worth of
Young, a
nothing.
bunch of
We got
young,
we got
young
half of these
acronyms.
half of the females who can't rap, can't sing, have little to no talent, but they half naked on Instagram and somebody liked them, and now they got a record deal, and now they got this. So they don't really do much, but they came from little to nothing, and they saying, "Oh, the way I look can get me ahead in life, and I can now
Mhm.
be a rapper." Like, let's be honest, it went from Little Kim's to Nicki Minaj's to now Cardi B's, and they've evolved. Oh, starting out they used to could rap, and now they kind of just evolved over time. Of I just need to fit this stereotypical mold, and now I'm hot, I'm trending, I can get money, I can get this come up that I didn't have before. So I don't think some people set out to be a role model. I think
Mhm.
they are struggling. They don't have much. And if the entertainment business is what I can go to get money to take care of myself, then I'll sell my soul to do that. Like, I'll sell out every bit of who I am for this money. I don't necessarily want to be a role model. I just don't want to be broke no more. Um,
Mhm.
so I don't think some people set their lives up to be role models, but then there are other people who truly do set their lives up to be role models. This Stacey Abrams, like there are people who set themselves up to say, I want people who look like me to see that I can do it, for you to feel like you could be able to do it. So there are people who want to be like, um J. Cole is another one who he brings on new young artists that don't necessarily fit the mold of what we see now, but he sees something in them musically to then move them along, and they want to model after him because he isn't necessarily, what people would stereotypically look like and think is going on. So I do think it isn't just all or nothing. I think some people don't care and they just want money, and other people truly do want someone to see like you can do this too. And it
Mhm.
it tells, by the way that they interact with their audience.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. So I do like something you said. I do agree that a lot of celebrities who come on television, and I will discuss what Rose said. What Rose said. Um, that a lot of them don't set themselves up to be role models. They just come to do make money to entertain and stuff like that. And then the others that do. And but even though they may not necessarily say they will be role models, so that society and people, general people, automatically deem them as one. And that's the issue I might have. Like, because they put so much in a pedestal that the fact that they are the staple person for everyone. So we all are one. They had to.
What Tracy said was right as well, because it's all the perception, how you want to be perceived. You know,
Yeah.
Stacey
Yeah.
Abrams wants to be, you
So
know,
you want
a
to
collegiate, well-rounded
cater
person.
to that this person is catered to the whole audience, the children, the adults, all that stuff like that. So if you decide to be an entertainer, oh, maybe, echoing. Hey Renee, what's going on?
You know that's
Oh,
pretty low echo anyway.
yeah, echoing.
Am I echoing?
Yes, you are.
Yeah, guys,
Oh,
You got to turn off that echo thing again.
Hey Renee, okay. So people don't necessarily want to deem themselves as role model, but society deemed them too. So it put a lot of pressure on them. So but Rose said that we don't get to see their bad times and struggles. It's unrealistic that we go pair them as role models, which is true because we see them so great as, and we're gonna have articles that will talk about that. We see them so great in, say, for example, Beyonce is a singer, dancer. Whether you think she could sing or not, but she's great in her craft. She's really great in her craft. That we thought that she may be a great mom, she may be a great woman, she may be a great staying lady, she may be this or this or that, and then we don't see the struggle she might go. We didn't see that she continued to stay with a man who keep constantly cheating on her and stuff like that. We don't see that. So I mean, we did sort of now, but but we don't see her struggles. But because she's so great in this, and we think that she's great at everything else. So though people deem her or whatever any artist that you think of as role models, and whether they like it or not, it just stapled on them. So
yeah.
See,
You know what? I
what
don't
I think
care
about that? How
am
do
I
you feel like
echoing?
I don't hear the article right now. No. How do you feel like if, say, for example, you wanted to get an entertainment business? Will you like that pressure of people saying that you automatic role model, even though you might set yourself not to be one?
Mm, I would say yeah, because even in my little minuscule indie music career, I set myself up
Mm-hmm.
purposely to be a role model. So in the future, when other gay black men find me, they discover my underground music, they'll be influenced by it. I really
Mm-hmm.
don't want to be on a record talk about popping my pussy and doing all those things. You
you
know,
sure? That
I'm
might be
sure.
a hit though.
Exactly. And you know what, Tracy? I've been in those situations
The
and been told
label.
you can make that fast money off of making a song of that nature. But my integrity for myself, you know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? I like to keep that for my husband, for my household, even if you know what I'm saying. But I don't want to be out there promoting sex like that. We already have a stigma. This is for my reflection. We already have a stigma of over sexualized as gay men. So as me being a gay rapper, I'm gonna come up, pop my pussy, and you gonna know me, bitch. No, I know that makes
See,
money. Yeah, it makes you money, but at the same
Yeah.
time, it's about your integrity level,
Mm-hmm.
how you want to come out, because you can spit shit, you can spit sexual stuff and not even mention any organ on the body and still be sexual. You get what I'm saying?
mhm.
So it's how you put yourself out there
Okay.
for male, female, straight, black, white, all of them, for everybody.
Mm-hmm.
So you know what? I will say this: that there are so like Beyonce. I will be the first to say I'm not the hugest Beyonce fan. I don't dislike her, but I'm
Mm-hmm.
not the hugest Beyonce
Yeah.
fan. But after watching some of the things that she does release about herself, it does give credence to why people would see her as a role model because she does
Okay.
tell you her struggles. You
Mm-hmm.
can watch the evolution of her And even if you go back and watch when she used to really do interviews, and
Mhm.
that's kind of the same way that Oprah is. You don't really see Oprah talking about herself anymore, about her history. She used to.
Show
She used to
young.
do interviews to kind of talk about herself, but she stopped that years ago, where she stopped being open about her life, and you only hear the little things you want to about her. But
Mhm.
Yeah,
she gives you the history of why she named her network what she did, how she was treated coming up, being a a black woman with truly African American features on daytime television
didn't
doing a thing. So
Beyonce
she
echo the same
did
thing?
give you, huh?
Same thing. Didn't Beyonce say the same thing about like Oprah in reference to why she stopped doing interviews
Hmm.
because she felt the interviews were prodding at her and asking her
Correct.
uncomfortable
So
questions.
so yeah, but she does do things that she does tell you, like her struggles, her miscarriage, her, like, she does give you the, this is how hard I had to work, this is how many hours I put in. It is not just I show up on set and I just go. So although she is very private about her life, she
Mhm.
does not glorify it to make it seem like, oh, this is just quick money, turn around, I didn't have to work for it, I'm good to go. So, you know, the Beyoncés, the Oprahs, those are different. Now, when it comes to other artists who we feel like blew up overnight and there was no real story or history to this
There was no work
person.
behind it. There was no work behind it.
There's no work behind it. Some
Mhm.
people that we look at, we know you don't write your own music. You don't. Like, you don't barely dance. You can't really sing. Like, we know that it's because of the way that you look. You
It's
have
a
made it so
manufactured
far.
thing. They're a
Like,
manufactured
let's be honest,
artist.
like Jennifer Hudson can sing. Like,
Mhm.
she
Yes.
can sing.
Yep.
And for the longest, no one wanted to book her, do anything with her because she was so overweight. So she had to change everything kind of about herself
Yeah, I
to
see that.
make herself more mainstream, to book roles and get gigs. Although she's very extremely talented, but she's quickly overlooked and overshadowed because of this. But then you actually go back and you hear some of her stuff, and you listen to her story and the things that she has been through, and it's like, would I rather look up to this person who's been through some things and is
Mhm.
open about kind of what's been going on, or this person who showed up overnight and all of a sudden now this overnight celebrity where we
Yeah.
have no backstory to. You
Yeah.
don't know where to come. Listen, I'll tell you right now, there is more little or young or something behind their
Yeah.
names that
Little
I ever
young
heard of in my
lady.
life. And I'm like,
Yeah.
who are you? What do you do?
We call it young acronym. Young whatever
Like,
acronym. A B
what
C D
do
Q R
you
S
do?
T
Like, can you
something.
give me a, like, I don't know a song that you sing. I don't know nothing that you rap. I don't know nothing that you write. Are you really an artist? Oh, you are an artist. You are?
Mhm.
What did you do? Oh, you made a TikTok song. You made
No,
a
you
song
know
on
what this
TikTok
reminds me
and it
of?
blew up. And now and now you somebody.
Yeah,
Oh,
what you just mentioned is okay. Basically, the machine of the industry, how they
oh
build
yeah.
these motherfuckers up and they put them out to be products. Okay,
Yeah.
Yeah.
when I was growing up, early 2000s, there was like a my brother used to get on me about the type of music I listened to because he would say they would purposely put these artists out to basically taint your brain about drug dealing, fast money, hoes, and stuff like that. A lot of these manufactured artists that you just described, Tracy, are popping out and they're not coming out with anything fruitful in music. They're all on auto tune. They're all saying fuck these hoes and get money. And we have to look at the point of these some of these artists that don't have talent are manufactured to kind of taint what we listen to because music naturally does influence. If you listen to Marvin Gaye, if you listen to an Aretha Franklin song, if you even listen to an OJZ song, you get inspired. You know what I'm saying? Because the struggle of the streets, black person, all those labels you can put on yourself, you felt reference to it. But now all these motherfuckers they letting out, they're not telling us nothing fruitful. Not one of them.
I was I'll be honest with you. I was like, Sweetie can miss me all day. The
Gone.
Migos can miss me all
Gone.
day. I was like
Wow.
NBA, Young Boy, Young Chopper. All I was like, oh, y'all can all miss me all day. I was like, if
Gone.
you cannot enunciate your words, we don't even need to talk. I don't even need to bother to listen to you because your lack of enunciation is frustrating to me. Like,
Very much
I'm sorry,
so.
say what? Oh,
Very
say
much
what?
so.
Say, say what?
Well,
I'm sorry. Say it one more time. Okay, now can you spell it? Because clearly those are not words in the in English dialect. So can you spell that for? Oh, you can't because you just made it up in your head. Oh, oh, okay. Oh, so those just sound effects. You know who else makes sound effects? Infants. Infants make sound effects too. They definitely do because they can't enunciate either. So we don't need to talk. But I'll definitely say that as far as the music industry is concerned and what they're putting out to, I
mhm.
was like, oh, I feel so sorry for these young kids nowadays because
Sorry. Sorry.
I feel so sorry
Well,
for them.
yes, it Rose, you was right. Auto tune all day. A lot of these young artists just auto tune. There's no real talent with their singing abilities and stuff like that. So I'm going to share a clip that Sunil, my bro, sent to me about Little Kim. It's a short, like a news, like a 50 something seconds clip, like a minute clip of what she said. And we're going to talk about what, dissect what she just said. Hopefully you could hear it because this is my first time playing audio on my live stream. So let's see.
Trial and error, bro. Trial and error.
Yeah.
Get
Let me know if y'all can't hear it.
Are comfortable with being a role model? I can't say I'm comfortable with it, but I tell you, I know for a fact that it's a true phrase. That's true. Whether we like it or not, we are role models and we can't help that. All we can do is tell them this is what I've done. This is what I had to go through to become who I am. This is what I did before I became a star, a celebrity, quote unquote. You don't have to do that. You can do whatever suits you.
Y'all heard it, right?
Yep.
yes.
Oh, okay. So Little Kim, so the guy said, do you like the idea of being called a role model? She said, are you comfortable? She said, I'm not sure I'm comfortable with it, but whether we like it or not, we are role models in some way, shape, or form, and we just have to tell our struggles and tell who we are, be transparent of a person that we are, and you don't have to do it as a celebrity, but that's what you're supposed to do. So what y'all think about what she said? Because my personal opinion was that what she said that she might not comfortable with it because as artists, as you jump in the scene, you may not want to be comfortable called as a role model because you just wanted to make your craft and just make the money and just entertain. So, but people just look at you and say, "Oh my God, you're on television, you're great." Then you're role model, but she said whether we like it or not, we just got to accept that that's what we are. We might sign up just be a singer, but unwritten rule, entertainer, role model, relationship guru, role model, whatever you on the television screen and you making you somewhere that people can see and they enjoy what kind of craft you do, put role model. But she said just try to be transparent, whether you could be or not. Say that. So what y'all thoughts about what Little Kim said? If y'all couldn't hear it, let me know y'all want to play it
So
again.
I
I could
heard
play
it. The reason why I shared that is because of the interview of the time. It was so raw. And the
it.
ironic part is that Little Kim is a role model for a lot of these rappers out right
Mm-hmm.
now. Okay. But the difference is during her time, she was being more and you may not agree with me, she was being more I'm free woman, hear me roar. This is my sexuality. Even if she wore something skimpy, you know what I'm saying? She just every other bar was not my pussy and you're taking your man. You know, she did say those things, but she had a little bit of class and tact to it. Now everybody that she influenced that are built up off of her, they are now doing the extremes because when she came out with it, she came out with class, you know, it was still sexy, it was, you know, it had the wiles to it. So that's why I brought this up, because ironically, she understood it and she did influence all these motherfuckers that's coming after her.
Yeah.
They are basically trying to be the next extreme Little Kim without the class, you know, and that's why I said I don't want to come off. You know, a lot of them don't have the class that she had, even though she was sexually forward, bold in her blackness, bold in her woman. It's just a different level of sexy for me that Kim had and a lot of these other ones had.
Mm-hmm.
So she influenced them. They were influenced, but they took the wrong road somewhere, just a little bit.
And chat, if y'all want to say anything, y'all can feel free to say things. Jason, what you thought about what she said?
Okay, love Kim. Going to see her in March. Really excited about that. Um, I I I definitely agree with her. Again, I grew up on Little Kim.
Mhm.
Uh, and listening to her lyrics, I was like, yes. Now, did that mean I was about to turn around and go do it? Absolutely,
No.
absolutely not. Absolutely not.
Yes.
But was there some things where I was like, you know what? She got
Let
a
me try
point.
that.
I might need to try that. That
Try
makes real good sense. Yeah, I did. So did it put certain influences on my life that maybe I didn't think about at the time, but then it made sense for me to go out, try and do? Yeah. But that's kind of what, music is and exploring is and all those good things. But I definitely do appreciate and like the way that she said it because again, sh- Little Kim hardcore was like hardcore, and
Yeah.
most
Exactly.
people was like, I could tell you right now, my mom burnt that CD at least 3 times. When I say like tossed it in the trash, got rid of it, like as in it got to the point where I was like, okay, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna have somebody burn me a copy of the CD and not get the little booklet, and I'll be fine because it just looks like a blank disc.
Just put blank
Like
on the
I'll be
motherfucker, blank,
fine.
and a
Yeah, just a
Sharpie.
blank disc. I'll be fine. I'm good. Um, so I definitely understand her stance on it, and Winter was like, oh, she did it classfully. No, I wouldn't say that. No, that's a little much. That's a little much. I would say of the two of them, Foxy did it with more class than Little Kim did.
Your
Little
Foxy
Kim
is my
definitely was. Foxy did sexy with a little more class than Little Kim did. Little Kim was definitely a little more raunchy. But the difference between Kim and artists now is Kim actually had lyrical ability to switch it up and go from sexual and to just hardcore rapping like a dude
yeah.
about
And
things
also
that are
she has
more so
artist
male
control.
dominated, and her flow could switch easily, and it didn't seem
Forced.
odd coming from her, if that makes sense. Like it seemed very natural, very
Mhm.
realistic, and it definitely fit in with her brand of who she was. Um, so I definitely do agree that you may not want to be a role model, but you kind of are because you're now being broadcast to millions of people, whether you like it or not.
Mhm.
So I can definitely agree with that
Mhm.
stance on it.
Yes.
Boy, you had to say something?
No, I was gonna say like the role model, her part of setting trends, like the colorful hair, a
Hmm.
certain style of blouse, the low cut jeans and stuff. Those are things that establish role models that influence, the public.
Yeah.
She knew that because she was fashion forward. But like Tracy said, she wasn't the most classy. Foxy was better out there. I do agree with that one, baby. I do agree with that. But she was more of like forward with it. And on her guard, playing the other side of the coin, she was coming up amongst a bunch of men that were saying the same thing. They were degrading women and everything horrible. So Foxy Brown and Little Kim were the answer to all the men coming up talking about what they're doing to women and degrading them. And remember the word bitch, how that came up, and and all that. They were saying it freely in songs and
Mhm.
and sluts and that. So there's a little bit of empowerment. We can look at the levels of him. There's some empowerment with him coming out and setting the stepping stones as Foxy. They just built a better castle than each
Mhm.
other.
I hear that. Sure. And chat, let me ask y'all, who y'all deem as role models? Tell me any celebrities y'all look up to, or any person in y'all non-celebrity life who y'all look up to, and see what your responses
Who
are.
celebrity I really do look up to is fucking Lawrence Fishburne. I love that motherfucker.
Lawrence
And
Fishburne. Okay.
Paul Mooney. And Paul Mooney. You can't tell me nothing about them because they are strong black Hollywood. And they about that shit. They've been working forever since they were like my age, and they're like towards their
Uh-huh.
70s now. So they've been working in Hollywood for such a long time, and they've kept meaningful roles where they weren't the abusive black man. You know what I'm saying? They weren't like stereotypical roles like you would
Mm-hmm.
get like a black woman, the maid, or someone abused. So they pick their roles wisely to show that they're really serious about being actors. It's
Yeah.
just not for the paper.
Okay, I hear that. Sure. So I have picked another article, and this one gonna have like two paragraphs that we're gonna talk about, and then another article is a longer one, and we will dive deep that one. So let me read this one first, and then we will dissect what that person said. All right, this one. All right. They said the question, should celebrity be considered role models or heroes, actually raises a better question that must be answered first. Should anyone be placed on a pedestal and regarded as a role model or hero to another? First, one must realize that no one signs up to be a hero or role model. Miley Cyrus did not sign her recording contract to be a role model to young girls. She signed it to make music. Those who point fingers and say she is a bad role model or bad influences on their children clearly do not realize that this is not the celebrity's job to show some random child the way to success. On the opposite side of this argument, celebrities that do present themselves as heroes or role models are also appreciated. However, it must be recognized that they are only human and are going to make mistakes and inevitably mess up from time to time. However, this is how they become defined as role models, by the way they handle failure and hardships. Those in the limelight do not always choose to be role models or heroes, and honestly, it isn't a job to it isn't in a job description to do so. So therefore, before you condemn those in Hollywood for their behavior, you must ask yourself, if you were in a position, will you be any better a role model yourself? All right. So what y'all thought about that? Because me personally, I feel like yes, what we was discussing before and everything.
Miz, where you be getting these articles from, bro?
Yeah, I be getting on Google and stuff like that. I search my topics and I read them and I look at it. I said, okay, let me get this.
This
Let me
article was written by a Caucasian disgraceful woman. Okay? You can tell. It's like the
yes.
last one you did the week before last.
Oh yes.
Yeah. Where you getting this shit from? Somebody disgruntled.
Yes. I try to get as much as you can, but it's good topics on point. So what this person said is that nobody signed up for it. But at the same time, like, why do we put them on the pedestal? So that's one thing. Why do we put celebrities on the pedestal?
I
Not
think
to say, but society as a whole.
one of
And
my friends, Lay, told me, and
mm,
she's Saipan, and so she's now has her citizenship. She's good or whatever. But
mhm,
we were talking about the same thing we messed up last week, and she was like, "It's American culture. It's in America's culture, pardon me, to big up these celebrities like they're deities, like they're God." To put them on a pedestal. Entertainment is part of our structure as Americans. So again, you can see how much they mass market them so we can feed off of them, see their movies, buy their music, follow them on this and that. And that is odd, but until you like look up from the outside looking in, it's like, yeah, we like follow celebrities like they're deities, like they're demigods of some sort. Everybody has a crew, a hive, a something, a gang. You know what I'm saying? If you don't like this person, I don't like you. And that's synonymous throughout America. And that shit is fucking crazy. It's like, are we brainwashed or is it just because the music is that good?
mm.
No, it's because we're a capitalist society and they use it to make money. Like,
Exactly. Like,
Yes.
and even though
like
we like the shit, we just gotta know better. It's just like it's a double-edged sword. Just like all of our points that we brought up are fucking valid, you know. Tracy's side, my side, Mizzle's side, it's all valid, but it's like we are in this American society where all those levels of role model is in question. One, why the fuck are you questioning anybody about them being a role model and you hear what they do or you see what they do? If I saw a crip on the street slinging rocks and pulled out a pistol and my son was around him, I'm snatching him up. But if my son was like, his shoes is clean, he making money, I'm gonna have to sit down and explain to him those shoes and the business that he's doing is not worth it. It's the same thing with these celebrities. I'm gonna sit my child down and be like, listen, it's entertainment. don't take their grains of salt for the future of their life.
Okay. So
Tracy.
I think it's different because in the United States, we're a capitalist society. They make money. They are the top 1%ers, the top 10%. That is where most people are trying to get. So because that's where most people are trying to get, it's no different than the crab in the bucket mentality or the idea that you don't want to lose, to miss out. You don't, the fear of being left out is a real thing. So people will go buy $200 Jordans when they barely have enough money for their light bill because they don't want to be the only person without Jordans.
Where's the lie at? Where's the lie? Where's the
So
lie?
because we are such a capitalist society, they make so much off of marketing these people to us as something that that's where they make their money. Like I've lived in 6 countries, and when I lived in Korea, they didn't have commercials. Like they had commercials, but not like we have commercials here. Their commercials was like news articles, and
What?
that's weather stuff like that. Like that was their version of commercial. So when my son was little, and my sister was like, "Oh, well, what do you want for Christmas?" and he was like, "I don't know. They don't have any commercials. I don't know. Like, what's the new?" He was like, I don't know. It's not like where it is overseas. Like it was definitely not the same to where they were pushing or marketing these things to you so hard like we do here. But it's because it's money. It is 100% money. So the fact that there is these, hives or cliques or groups of people who you put on a pedestal because they make money. So because they make their networks money, because they make their entertainment companies money, because they do these things, they push these people out to you to continuously get you to spend your money. That's what it is. I can tell you right now, I lived overseas. You could buy Jordans for like $43, $48.
$43.
Yeah.
I need to go buy
Like
a bulk of
it
Jordans.
was literally nothing over there. And they didn't even sell like that over there. Didn't sell at all. Cause yeah, Michael Jordan is great, but he isn't great like that
Them
everywhere
motherfuckers
else.
out
So where
over
we
here.
were spending $200 on a pair of shoes, I was like, nope. No.
Yeah.
You know what?
I was mailing back all types of stuff. I was like, okay,
You know
don't
what?
worry.
I
The
never
next time the
wear
military
Jordans.
ship come out, I'll load y'all up with stuff.
Well, I never wear Jordans because when I was growing up, there was too many niggas that died in Jordan. The patent leather ones, the black ones, the red ones, the white ones, the blue ones. And growing up in San Diego, they would be gang affiliate. And every time you saw somebody dead or somebody reported, they had Jordans on. And you got 45 niggas walking around with Jordans on because they spent $200, $300 on them Jordans. And I'm like, I don't want to wear them motherfucking shoes because everybody, I want some different shoes. Why am I not? No. What the fuck? That's why y'all shooting, because it's a false perception, and back to what we're talking about, the role models. A lot of the people that we see, celebrities, don't own all those things. They rent those things,
Not at all.
and, and people are
Don't.
trying to mimic that here, and it looks like a point of you're balling when you're really not. Like Tracy said, you're spending your motherfucking light bill on shoes, bruh.
Well,
Yeah.
to
So
tell you the truth, me, out of all my life, 35, I only own one pair of Jordans in the back in the day. Ever since all my life, I only had on one pair because I never was the type of person to go online spend that much money on the Jordans. I said no. I rather wear Nike, New Balance, Fila, stuff like affordable, not that $200 stuff. And I could buy like outfits with that $200.
For real.
That's what I'm saying, outfits.
my son is 17, and he isn't necessarily really into shoes and clothes and things like that. But he every year he's like, no, I need to get some ACG boots because it's winter and it's cold, and I don't like my feet to be cold. So I spend $200 on some boots
Yeah,
because he
that's
like, my feet not gonna be cold. Like
He's smart.
that's all I want. That's all I'm gonna do. My feet ain't gonna be cold. He was like, I hate, for my socks to be cold, my feet to be cold. So, things like that. Or I would definitely say that I think because we've lived a lot of places and we weren't really settled in one particular area for too long, he didn't get that typical, like, oh my gosh, I need to have the new this, the new that, like my nephews do, who's 2 years younger than him, who literally like waits outside of the store to get a ticket to potentially get a pair of shoes. He doesn't have, like, so although they're very close in age, they're very different in the aspect. And I'm like, he's like, a lot of times because we travel and other countries believe in, like, look at things very differently. So he didn't get that whole, like, oh my gosh, I need to have this or that, or because they just didn't push those things. Like,
Yeah.
they weren't big on, like, concerts and movies and video games. And well, no, video games is kind of universal. That didn't change anywhere. But clothes and shoes. I think video games is one of those things that, regardless of where we lived, was a constant. It was video games. It's a like it's not just U.S. or China or it wasn't. It isn't anything. Video games are universal.
Yeah.
That's just kind of where
nerd life is universal. I can say in my 36 years of life, I've always had a video game from like age of 5, like Nintendo, everything, to all the way up to the PS5. So and as we become older people, we still play video games if you're in your life. Because it's a point of positive entertainment. And it's fun as fuck. I don't.
So
it's something you can do your whole life.
Yeah, so I would say, the idolizing of people and things like that. We're in a capitalist society, and they see them as a way to make money, not to be funny. They pay people very little to do these things, or they put them in these contracts that are not that great, but they can make millions on the back end with people. And I think who's the best? I don't like Ray J. I'm not a Ray J fan, but Ray J has learned the business end of it from his mother to monopolize it, to say, I don't want my money on the front end. I want my money on the back end. I want this kind of cut in this.
Residuals.
I want these things. Like, no. I want to have EP credit. I want producer credit. I want writing credits. I want these things on the shows where the money is really made, not necessarily in front of the camera, where they can give you very little to put you out there to market your thing, to make money off of you, and you don't really get much in return. So I think, although we think of people to role model after, or people that you want to idealize, there are people who you think are a lot richer than they really are, or they have a lot, but it's not like disposable liquid income that they truly have, that they can spend, but they look like they're rich. They look like they're living great from the optics of it. But social media, will give you any pretty picture, but you're idolizing or looking up to or making a role model of someone who, once you really learn, you're like, see, you know what I don't want to do? Yeah, no, you're not my cup of tea, really.
Well, so on this paragraph, they're gonna move to the next one. It said that something about people would say they would be a bad role model or bad influence. So, what qualities do the person will possess that makes them automatic bad role model and bad influences? And give an example of somebody that probably personally, entertainer, anything, or celebrity that give off that impression. And because of that, like for my example, like one example, remember that time everybody was so outrageous with outrage that figured Lil Wayne supported Orange Man
Okay.
and Kanye supported Orange Man. And then I was telling people, I was like, okay, I was like, I don't value Lil Wayne and them as high people that I was like so upset that they did that because we don't know them personally, we don't know their political background, it's like that. So I don't view him as a staple for all black people. So when I saw that, I said, okay, it's just like a normal person next to me who we both black, but he support Orange Man, I support Biden, it's like that. But people are so upset that because he's Lil Wayne and then they supported him, then they shouldn't do that. He should still be supporting. They should be the all for the black people. They should be on the island side. Why I didn't get upset because I said, oh, he's a person who's a human being who shows his political side. That we just know what side he is. So we might not even support him. We may support him in the future. We may not support him in the future. But I never got upset because I really, really view him as that pedestal type of person. But people got upset. So that's one of the examples I gave you. So what qualities do you see a person would have that possess them as a bad influence or a bad role model? Hey, Sequoia, what's up? How you doing?
There goes. That is so vast. That is such a broad fucking question. It's like you can't. It's like what they're doing. You know what I'm saying? Like, okay. Besides these entertainers, Martha Stewart, she's an entertainer. I love Martha Stewart. She is one of my heroes. Okay, because she educates me on, you can say, domesticated things, cooking, sewing, and everything in between. Those are my life. Okay, this is my opinion. But I also respect her because she got her money up out that bank and scooted the fuck on like a G. And that's
Martha
what,
said she did her time and pimped out that prison.
Thank you.
She good.
Because that's something that I see that as admirable, but other people don't, because that's money moves. You know what I'm saying? This is an empire that you have built, you've established. And to put that in perspective, I've seen women take time, you know what I'm saying? Because, okay, this is my opinion, that baby dad would do 5 to 10 years, but she only gonna do 2 months. She gonna take that 2 months so he can stay out for that 5 to 10. Those are moves that you make for people that I would see as heroic. I know that's ghetto, you know what I'm saying? But it's for a reason. It's not like just being a full fucking criminal. It's for a reason. Like Martha moving the money, baby taking the heat for the, whatever. It's for a reason. Those are good aspects I look at in people. If we're going to play this music game and all this shit, make sure your moves is right.
Mm-hmm.
My opinion, again, sorry.
Yeah, it's fine. Nobody won't care. Tracy?
Wait, what was the question again?
So what qualities or somebody will possess that make them a bad influences or a bad role model? And give an example of your answer.
A bad role model. Well, outside of the outside of just like the general, like, do things, you're a trash person. I would say anybody who does something that they know is detrimental to other people,
mm-hmm.
but continues to push and do it because they're able to make money off of it.
Mm.
So let's say my boy Bernie Madoff, who just died.
Mm-hmm.
Poor Bernie. Nice Ponzi scheme, $68 billion. $68 billion. He was stealing from old people. Terrible person.
Thief ass nigga.
Although he when he got caught the first time, he just kept doing it. He upped the game, and kept doing it. So it's people like that who,
mm-hmm.
when they know that they're doing something that hurts other people,
yeah,
and then they find a better way to keep doing it for longer. So anybody who has that type of trait, to me, is the epitome of a terrible role model. Like, oh, you just found a better way to scam people. Oh, you just found a better way to hurt people. And it doesn't necessarily have to be, the ideas like,
no, it's
other
not a
type
career
of
criminal. He was a career criminal.
Yeah,
United States.
Yeah.
Snoop.
I mean, $68 billion. I mean, I could understand where he was coming from because they was like 68 billion. I was like, billion with a B? $68 billion.
With
He
a
got
B.
he made 68 billion dollars. Like, I don't know. I think I might would have tried it, but then once I heard what he did, I was like, man, stealing from old people is low, man. That is low.
Messed up.
Stealing people's life
That's messed
savings
up.
is low. Like,
It is.
I mean, this wasn't like a Robin Hood Ponzi scheme, steal from the rich, get to no. Oh, okay. It was steal from the poor to get richer. Oh man. I was like, oh man. But 68 billion, I did have to look twice and was like, could I? I couldn't do that one. But yeah, those career criminals, those people who hurt people, know they hurt people, but continue to do it because they're getting something out of it. So those type of people. Let's see. If I was to think of it in the rap world or the R&B entertainment world, Tekashi 6ix9ine, that little funny looking colorful troll, him right
Yeah.
there,
What?
and everything around him.
What?
Yes. Everything about
From across the
Yeah,
room.
him and everything around him. The colorful little treasure troll.
Yes.
That one right there is another one that I was just
I
like,
call him a rainbow demon.
He's something. But then, like, when you said, like, oh, Lil Wayne voting for Trump, I was like, I wasn't surprised. But then again, I do payroll for like companies.
Mhm.
So a lot of them I see, and I'm like, yeah, I know exactly who you voting for. What tax bracket you in? Oh, I know exactly who you voting for. Like that was legitimately what it was. 90% of the people who we think we like, and things like that, voted for Trump.
Mhm.
Because of their tax bracket.
Mhm.
When their company was able to pay $0 in taxes, zero, and then Biden tells them, "Oh, we're gonna charge you 28% taxes." I went from 0 to 28%. Who you think I'm choosing? Zero. So was I surprised when either celebrities was super quiet and didn't say anything, or said, "No, we gonna vote for Trump"? Because all of them was looking out for their personal assets.
Mhm.
So I wasn't surprised at all. I was more surprised at the people like me or you who was like, I'm gonna vote for Trump. And I was like, you mean
Yeah.
I hope you know that although you look like this, you poor like me. So Trump thinks of you just like he would think of me,
And
because you're poor. So to
who would want
him, that's almost as bad as being black. Like,
real? Who
but
wants their role model to bail out on them when your president is fucked up? And you like, oh, your role model's like, oh, I make about a good 2 million, so this is gonna benefit me. So now fuck y'all and please buy my album.
Yeah.
But that's your role model.
Yes.
That is so
Basically,
it's such in turmoil with the bullshit. And you like, fuck that, I'm about my taxes.
oh no, Bernie, that's when he elevated his Ponzi scheme. He started stealing from the rich. He started out stealing from the old people. Like, that's why I said he evolved his scheme and got worse. Like, he
Kept
evolved his scheme. That was
and he asked
evolving.
another question. What about Kevin Bacon and his wife? What he did was stealing from them.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Okay.
Like, oh, investments. Like, oh yeah, I'm gonna get you this private thing, and upselling thing. Yeah, he was a whole like mess. But no, he Mm, 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 mm.
like,
Like, I was like, at first I was like, ooh, but then once you hear about it, I was, oh, never mind.
Mhm.
That's too much for me. Like, that is, ooh, too much for me.
All right, so we're gonna read this one and we're gonna talk about what this paragraph is about. All right, so I believe that is important in today's society for children to have positive role models. Young and impressionable children need someone they can look up to and model their behavior after. Oftentimes, children role models include athletes, family members, or celebrities. However, many celebrities are not the proper positive role models that the youth of America needs in their lives. While there are many celebrities that do good for people across the entire globe, they tend to not get as much media attention as those who display disruptive, inappropriate behavior. I do agree with that. These celebrities are more talked about because of their irresponsibility, if more interesting to the media than the positive action of famous people like Beyonce, who works for the advancement of gender equality. Anybody else who does positive things for people. Seeking reckless celebrities on television, getting attention, causes many kids to act out and follow the bad examples they've seen on TV. While we should acknowledge the good times many celebrities do, we should not admire their every move, and children should not be encouraged to look up to them. So, what y'all thought about that? Let's see. For me, first, I do agree. Yes, children are impressionable, and they do look at someone they see on television and stuff like that. And I think Tracy and both of y'all said that we got to be the one to really sit down our children to make sure that we know what is right, what's wrong, and to be that we're supposed to be the person that they should not always look up to the person on television and say that's their guidance too. So I do agree what he's saying with that, and also what he said that a lot of celebrities that we did list that was good, positive role models for us, they don't get much attention as people who does do bad behavior, and the ones that do bad behavior, we always constantly seeing them. So something got to be done by that. So that's why we said that. I guess he was saying that we should not encourage just to look up to only them, but we should know that they do look up to people as well. So what y'all know about that?
I told I told one of my friends, I was like, "Oh, you listen to Kodak Black? Can you just delete my phone number? I was like, can you just delete my phone number because we have nothing in common. We don't need to be friends. If you support this person, oh, we don't even need to be friends." And it was like, what? I was like, no, just delete my number. We don't need to be friends.
Delete
And it
number.
was like, so I was like, no. Once you cross that line, no. We don't need to be. I don't care what you do, but we just gonna call it a wrap and cut it a day. But I continuously, hear about, see, and people think things are cool or okay, and I'm like, yeah. So I definitely agree that problematic celebrities tend to stay in the media. They tend to stay in headlines. They have the thought process that all press is good press. Even the bad stuff is still good because of just who they are, which isn't okay.
Mm-hmm.
So I definitely do agree with that sentiment. Um,
Mm-hmm.
but I also do think that we started this idea of cancel culture, but we
Yeah.
never really went through with it. Like, I mean, we've really only canceled like one person, truly, maybe two, but nobody ever truly stays canceled because most people's attention spans are like goldfish. So,
Go to the
I
next, right?
mean, I guess we could do a little better about that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
What was
probably.
the question again, Miz?
Oh, what you thought about the this paragraph that I read about children being impressionable and celebrities, and also that the ones that does the ones that are good role models do not get as much attention in the media than people who not as role
Oh, okay,
models.
yeah, that's why you shouldn't smoke marijuana, kid.
Yeah.
Because now these air quote celebrities, influencers are getting more popularity off of being infamous, not famous. They're getting, it's called infamy for the crimes they do, the baby moms they have, who they are dating, and so on and so forth. It's not because of your talent, because the talent is not selling right now, even though it exists. It's for these motherfuckers getting on the intranet and playing the ass of themselves. The TikTok, the Instagram, the Snapchat, and they doing these salacious things for popularity. And that the downside to that is you may actually have a talent, but in this day and age, you have to do fuck shit like that to get them likes up. You know what I'm saying? You just can't go out there and sing a song from Billy Sings the Blues or what the fuck ever. because that's not enough. You got to show your tetas. You got to show where the great sweatpants see the balls. You know what I'm saying? You got to put on a wig. You got to be like Miss Squirrel and all those things. You know? So we have to, they're playing the game, you know what I'm saying? But there's still a way for people to play the game and get your art out there. You don't have to sell out so quickly. And I think cancel culture, yes, we have a sellout culture that's spreading more faster than the cancel culture because these motherfuckers are selling out.
Mm-hmm.
You know how they selling out? Let me tell you right now. These two pertinent things. I tell my husband this all the time. All these women that are getting the body modifications at a super young age, when they get older, whoo boy. And same thing for these young men that are getting all the tattoos on their face when they get older, whoo boy. It's gonna be some they
Okay, you know what I say about that? Tattoo removal is a lot easier than body modification removal. It's a
Mm.
lot easier. Tattoo removal, you go what, 4, maybe 6 appointments at the most, and it's gone
true,
like it was never there. But
true.
body modification changes,
Mm.
all the complications that you could give yourself, all the things that you have to do, all the times that you have to go back, it isn't as simple as people may make it sound. Um, but it's one of those things that I feel like if we, how can I say this appropriately?
I think if everybody's allotted to get any surgery they want to, but it's the young age of getting so much surgery to be in the pop culture is why we're on the topic of plastic surgery. You know what I'm saying? I agree with some of like Auntie Momo and Sunshine said they would have a mommy makeover at one point. You know what I'm saying? But that's actually raising kids. You know what I'm saying? It's not you doing it at 23 to fit in because they want this shape and what's going to get you there. You know?
No,
It's
see, like I think there's things that like just don't make sense to me, like that I just don't understand. Because like I only have one kid. Now
Yeah.
I've known since I known since I had him. I only wanted one. I'm the baby of 10. I didn't want to put that on nobody else. Having a bunch of siblings is annoying. Like having a bunch of siblings is annoying.
oh
Yeah.
no.
Oh yeah. And then twins run on my mom's side because her dad is a twin, and then on my dad's side because my grandma is a twin. So I was like, the likelihood of me having twins is super high, and I don't need 2 of me running around in this world because that's just pure blasphemy. But I didn't want to have I didn't want more kids. So when I had my kid, I was like, okay, can I just get a hysterectomy? And it was like, no. And I was like, but I don't want more kids. And it was like, you have to wait till you're 30. And I was like, what? And I was like,
Mm.
because it's a permanent decision that you're choosing to make. You may get married and your husband decides that he wants to continue on his family. So no, you can't. And then I got married and I still couldn't get it because I only had one kid. So I I have a hard time understanding that I was a full grown adult and they told me I couldn't get surgery done on my own body because I knew what I wanted. But they're letting people at 17, 18, 19, 20 go
Getting
and
those.
modify their bodies
Yeah.
because of something they want to do. So
And they
it's the
still
double
growing.
standard for me that I just don't understand. Like,
They're still growing. I mean, for real, my fucking feet kept growing. At by the time I was 32, I was at a size 14.
yeah.
For
So
real, I can't
I,
make
I
that shit up.
don't understand how society has come up with the rules that they've come up with to determine what is passable, what is not, what is cool, what is not, what is acceptable, what isn't. And the more that they are getting these role models, because plastic surgery did, like they used to make you get therapy before you could get
Before you get to something.
surgery.
Yes.
Before you
Yes.
get surgery, they made you go to therapy to make sure that you were mentally in a good headspace for what you were doing. But because it's becoming so normal for celebrities, they got rid of those rules that required it because celebrities are doing it all the time. Like if you watch Keeping Up with the Kardashians, if you watch season 1 to season 2, you can see all the changes they made Season 2 to 3, you see all the changes they made. 4 to 5, you like, well, girl, you was not
calm
the same
down,
person
right?
that you was.
Yo,
Season
why
2, Kim looks like a total different heifer than season 18, Kim. Y'all don't even look like the same being. Like, who is this
and yo,
person?
and
Because
you know
y'all
what
are
the
not
crazy
the
part
same.
is? This shit is fucking dangerous because again, role models, children being influenced by it. And a lot of them aren't getting looks to make themselves original. They get the same big lips, the chin and shit like that. So they look like the same person repeated 7 million different times, you know?
Yeah, go ahead.
But it's dangerous because we
Uh-huh.
don't want that to be somebody's goal, a child's goal. By the time when I get old enough, I'm gonna get a Kim Kardashian booty and I'm gonna get those lips and I'm gonna look just like her. That's kind of dangerous to put that in to allow that for children to be influenced by such a thing. And we talk about it freely as adults. We know that shit's fake. We know that shit's fake. And kids hear it be like, oh, you can get fake. What? You can get fake what? So they put a dream in their head. They cast that out. That all I gotta do is just get fake this and that, and I can look like Kim Kardashian.
But nowadays, it's not even kids that are worried about looking up
So,
to role models.
yes, it's going to
Adults
make something
would
that
change role models into relationship goals. Shh, the devil is a lie. Because if I didn't know no better, I would think Ike was the best man. He got Tina her whole record deal. Huh. Little did I know, he was like, anytime she came around, shoot,
Right.
relationship goals my foot. You don't know what's going on behind closed doors.
You sure don't.
I was going to ask y'all what's it called, it said before we go to the next one, because you brought up a, I guess, interesting point that it's sometimes, even if it's not even the children that much, it's a lot of adults that make them decisions that, oh, you supposed to do the one mile for this kid, you supposed to do this for my kid, and how you gonna teach my kid this way, and this and that, and it's that. But I said, you had the kid, so why is the celebrity responsibility to be the role model for your kid? And then sometimes, like she was saying, that a lot of adults look at these role models, celebrities, as relationship thing. It's like this is a spy. We need to aspire to be that and be this way. So I want to see
Who
what
want
y'all
to be
thought.
the next Sweetie
Yeah.
and Quavo? Get this
I want to
relationship
see what y'all
goals.
thought of what she had
Whip
said,
your
because it was
behind in the elevator.
interesting
Solange you real quick.
point that she made.
When you were describing that, Mizzle, I thought about like how many different generations we are in right now, and how generations have changed so quick between the motherfucking 80s, 90s, and the 2000s, and now in the 2020, and how everything has really changed, right? So didn't nothing keep up, as in like things that segued from the 70s to the 80s? And it's a lot of opinion. It's the super young ones that's on the Instagram that think everything is racist, cancel culture for everything. It's the ones that's in their late 20s that's like, oh my God, I got to get my life together. And it's us in our early 30s, and then it's us in our 40s. You know, and that's like 4 generations of people discussing things and how they view media, how media changed in their lifetime within the 10 years of whatever ever. So it's like a lot of fucking opinion, and it's a lot of the media trying to appease everybody by doing everything hoish, everything got to be a remix. You know, you got to remake this movie, you got to remake this song. Like you said, Queenie,
It
we
is.
got DJ Quick. You know, it's like it's too many generations. It's like too many cooks in the kitchen, and everybody's trying to get seen at this point.
I will say this.
Mm-hmm.
As much as people say, oh, we should be modern, 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 modern. Mm, I don't think this is all it's cracked up to be, and as good as we're making it sound. Maybe we need to bring some of the traditional back because um I don't personally see uh, these, like instant rappers, instant influencers, instant
Mm-hmm.
people being very great at anything. It's very far and few between that I see this
Yeah,
instant overnight celebrity being
Mm-hmm.
a great role model
I
Yeah.
don't see them
or
having any
anything of that
longevity
or anything
whatsoever.
of that there's no longevity to anything here because everything is so quick, so instant. I want it now. People
Yeah.
aren't working for anything. They're not actually taking the time to like learn their craft and be
Build
really
their
good at it.
skills and
Those
stuff like
things
that.
aren't happening anymore. So where like my parents were married my entire life plus some. shoot, my parents were married for 47 years before my dad passed away.
Yes.
They were married forever.
That's good.
So when you think of relationship goals, you would think of someone who's been married 40 some odd years being like, you know what? I want to be able to weather that storm decades with
That's what I
somebody.
said. I wish I
That
had
would be a relationship goal. But you mean a person that just went and bought their new significant other this iced out necklace or this brand new car, but then they cheat on them and beat on them? But that's your relationship goal?
Oh yes,
Take
everything.
it. You can have it.
There's a
They can have
difference.
Yes. And it's a
it.
sad that a lot of adults does think that way. So that was an interesting point that you made, Takora. All right,
We
so
need
this
therapy.
article I picked was yes, right. Celebrities are not role models. And I just wanted to disclaimer, this guy, whoever wrote this article, he was really like calling people out and calling them ignorance and stuff like that. So I know y'all will hear that. So I just don't think it long, but I just let y'all know this what he was saying. All right. Let me see. All right. Celebrities are not role models. It was kind of a long one, too. Sports, movies, and musicians. How is that a role model qualification? Definition of a role model. A role model is classically thought of as someone who to aspire to be like or model. Society is, as a whole, lazy as to who we are adorn the crown of role model. Most people assume they are excellent at that one thing, therefore they must be equally awesome at all things. For example, hitting a ball into the hole with a stick from a longer way, a golf, or be able to throw away a ball into a hoop from a close distance while others try to stop you without touching you, basketball. It is so often falsely assumed that the discipline it takes to get good at one thing must mean that they apply the same discipline to all the areas of their life. When did society as a whole become so ignorant? It is like we believe a perfect person exists, and these perfect people must be celebrities. It is not the celebrities' fault. People are dumb. They never sign up to be a role model. Most celebrities accept that they now answer to the social grand jury of public opinion only because they are too conditioned to think celebrities owe the world something. All celebrities grew up idolizing celebrities of time. They likely blindly took many of the role models. However, this bubble can be burst. As the saying goes, never meet your idol. The disappointment in your meeting your idol or role models is usually the realization they are human and fallible. Maybe it will be better if someone get to go meet them. It would be better if everyone got to meet their idols. But let's not forget, there were or are celebrities that live their life unapologetically as non-role model. They set their bar from the start low. Think Dennis Rodman. Oh, that's a name I ain't heard for a while. We're gonna stop there. So what y'all think about that beginning paragraph? I mean, minus the stuff that he was saying people are dumb and ignorant, stuff like that. I mean, we might think the same thing he said, but what he said about that part so far.
He didn't lie. I mean, it's harsh. It's direct, but
Yeah.
he also didn't lie. Like he didn't lie. It
Is
was
this the
harsh,
same
but it was
author?
direct. But he
No,
didn't
it's a
lie.
different article.
Okay, well, this guy, that's his journalistic style. It was very blunt. It wasn't no salsa with spaghetti noodle. Just take these noodles, nigga. So some people don't like that attitude, but it's better than them blowing air up your ass and gaslighting you. So
Yeah.
Um, do I agree? I agree. I truly do. Um, let me say it like this. Like I I liked Rick James, but I wasn't about to go out and live a Rick James lifestyle because I wasn't about to, do
Oh
blow
yeah.
all day and try and get high and see what life was. That
you
wasn't
know,
that wasn't my ministry.
Mhm.
That wasn't my ministry. But he made
Mhm.
it very clear that I get high all day, every day, and I live in my truth. Ugh, wasn't what I was about to do with my life. So I
Yeah.
definitely agree that some people do set their standards to where you're like, if you want a role model after me, then this is the life that you want. And they don't hide their imperfections, which is great because then you know exactly what you're getting yourself into.
Mhm.
you know what? I say anything I want about Cardi B, but at least she is authentic in who she is. And
That's very
if you
blunt.
want to live your life the way I do, this is what come with it. This is what it is.
You
I
gotta
don't
get that money.
sugarcoat the other things that go with what I had to do or what I do to get to where I am. So if this is the lifestyle you're looking to lead, then here I am.
Mhm.
Um, so I definitely do agree that there are times where there are artists where we're like, oh my gosh, I didn't see their downfall coming. There are people
What?
who were like, this was shocking and surprising. Okay, let's see. And then there's times where we're like, well, who would ever want to model after this person? I guess my best way to explain it is, um, there is the Allen Iverson, and then there's
Mhm.
the LeBron James.
Oh, okay.
Both play basketball, both great at basketball. LeBron James has this very wholesome, cookie cutter, stereotypical, I need to make sure that I look good on the boardroom and for press, and people would want to work for me and want to work with me, and I have this clean, polished image. And then there was Allen Iverson, who was like, I'm gonna get tattoos, I'm gonna go to the strip club, I'm gonna get arrested, I'm gonna live my life and enjoy my celebrity status and all that comes with it.
But do you remember when they
Mhm.
changed that dress code because of Iverson and his lineage of the NBA teams? They forced him to wear suits and be more business suitable. But now all the fashions are coming out, in the 2000s. But they were actually forced because of Iverson's actions with the chains and the tattoos coming in,
Mhm.
the ruffles and stuff
Yeah,
like that.
yeah.
Mhm.
He forced them into that cookie cutter narrative. But if you look now, they don't have that anymore. You could do and dress in whatever you like and show up at now,
Yeah.
which they weren't able to before. And that just depends on the personality type of the person who's showing up. Because there are people that you can see that come in hoodies and slides, and then there's other people you see come in, two-piece suit,
With the
that's
bag
cut
and
off
shit.
at that's cut off at the ankles, you know. So it just really depends on the personality type. So I would definitely say that the image of people and what they want to portray, and
Yeah.
I did appreciate them being authentic and who they were, and
Yeah.
you knew that if you wanted to do this, this is the bag that comes with it, not just, oh my gosh, I'm the number one player in
Uh-huh.
in the world and I'm just so great.
You got to put in the work. You got to
Yeah.
put in the work.
Yeah. That's it. I hear that. So, gonna move on. Oh, you froze, Neil. All right, we're gonna move to the next part and we're gonna discuss that. All right. So hard work, like we were all just saying, hard work plus talent plus X equals celebrity question mark. I get where people are coming from when looking up to celebrities. It is an easy mistake. You assume they got where they got because of hard work and determination. Sometimes this is true. Hard work can play a role, but it's not the only part of success equation. And I think this is what Tracy was saying earlier, that it's witness, y'all both were saying, it witnessed hard work pay off, but also seen it fail. It's seen natural born talent cruise to the top of their chosen sport with no more effort than the next guy, but an effort nonetheless. We've also been seen with average talent work their way to somewhere near the top, but never to the very top and never for long. To get to the top and stay for the amenable amount of time, you need more than hard work. There are also only of so many hours in a day, especially with sports. There is only so much training you could do at the top level of sports. They all work as hard as another. It could be anything else. It doesn't have to be sports, but this article just says sports. The difference between a top player and an outright celebrity is a mixture of timing, marketability, and talent. There is such a thing as natural talent, and it can get you a long way. It is probably the most important factor, but it doesn't guarantee you anything these days. Now, no matter how hard a 4 feet 4 feet 5 inches basketball player with a scoliosis and asthma work, they are only going to get so far, and it's not to the NBA. Talent alone won't get you to the top, but you'll not get into the top without it. There are rare exceptions to the equation, and it's zero talent but perfect timing and extreme marketability. Think Cash Me Outside Girl. All right, so what you thought about that? Me, I agree with what he was saying. Little point as a point that sometimes, like we were saying, that it's all people who just get to the top just because of timing. And it had to be no much because they had talent. It was timing. It was the right time and place. They met the right person. They got to the top. They made it. People liked them. They celebrity. They become an instant celebrity that we were saying before. And then there are other people but they can't get so far without the natural talent. And then there are people who work so hard to get to the top to be talent as well and everything. And so like that. So when he was saying that his main article, Celebrity Should Not Be Role Models, he was saying that yes, there are people who work hard for their craft, but they work hard for that craft. And there are people who didn't work hard and it's made it to that point because of time and marketability or whatever that thing. And like he said, the Catch Me Outside Girl. She got blew up from that part, and now she making 6 million. No, 1 million in 56 hours in OnlyFans. So what do you thought about that paragraph?
First of all, her making that much money on OnlyFans is gross. There's a lot of Twilights waiting for her to do that shit. First of all, that's gross as hell. I don't care what nobody say.
Yes,
Second
it is
we brought up all the topics in this paragraph, and ironically, because it is they're marketable. They're going to get that money. The machine, shall we say, is going to get that money, put that person out. Just like we said, timing. A person that had perfect timing was Cardi B. Why? Because that's when Love and Hip Hop was rising up. She was loud. She was boisterous. She was giving us a personality that we hadn't seen since I Love New York. And people were infatuated by that. And then, not to mention, even if she isn't writing her lyrics, she can put them motherfuckers on. Just like Tina Turner didn't write all her songs, but she put that motherfucker on. It's hard work to be an entertainer out there. You can see the people that just do the basic, like we were saying, Little Kim costumes, and they like rapping about my pussy and all that shit, you know? So you can see where they put in work and how hard it is and how easy it can be at the same time. So it's marketability and talent.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe she was born with it. Maybe it's Maybelline.
What's your thoughts?
I think that when it comes to determining someone's star status or kind of that it factor,
Mm-hmm.
it definitely is one of those things that social media has allowed people who should not be stars to now become stars, to now become celebrities, to now have influence and status to where prior to social media, it would have never happened. I do think that social media has removed the ability for someone to need natural talent. It's taken that away because at this point, I can put together a 30-second or 60-second reel on TikTok. And before you know it, overnight, I've blown up. Or how about this? Here's a perfect example. Gorilla Glue Girl. She got verified on Instagram. She has multiple deals and people paying her for putting Gorilla Glue in her hair. Like, what was that? That wasn't talent. That wasn't the it factor. That was social media.
And from what she told us, it was an accident. Hell.
Exactly. So it's like, despite what people may believe, the internet is a gift and a curse.
Yeah, I do agree.
Social media is a gift and a curse. Because the Catch Me Outside Girl should definitely never be anybody's version of a celebrity. Gorilla Glue Girl should never be anybody's version of celebrity. And half of these, I can't rap, but I rap rappers, or I can't rap, but I don't know what rap song they made because it was just really a song on TikTok. Don't need to be celebrities either. So there are some people who have been given these things that they don't necessarily deserve. And not saying that they don't work hard or they don't do things, but there is no fathomable reason that the Catch Me Outside girl should now be a millionaire for doing what?
Nothing.
What?
Like,
Who
what?
knew what?
For
Yeah.
national
For doing
TV.
what? There's no reason that the Glue Girl should be verified on Instagram
Mm-mm.
and
Oh yeah.
literally be
Yeah.
selling. Like literally, wait, literally, she has a marketing thing where she charges like $1,500. No, she charges.
No.
What does she charge? I think it's like 1,000 for one, 1,500 for another, and she charges people to post on her page. She charges people like promotionals and
Really?
advertising. Yeah, as
Well,
in
that's
like
called
she.
marketing.
But what is she marketing? What
That's
is
what
she
I'm saying.
marketing? Tell me
That's
that. What
Just
is
her
she
name,
marketing?
just the
crazy.
traffic. Just the traffic, that's it.
Like there are certain people who I'm like, but why?
Mm-hmm.
But why? Like, but why? Why is this a thing? Not to be funny, I don't feel like you're a celebrity if all you do is voice over other people's music and make faces to them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. You do what?
That's what I'm
Oh,
saying.
okay. Okay. You got an artist
No,
who
because
took
you know
their
what?
time.
I view it as a spectacle. Like all the clowns, like I'm not gonna say nobody's name, like your boy in the wheelchair, the one with the back, you know what I'm saying, the one with the phone head, you know what I'm saying? Those people get on there because they're not becoming popular like we talk about talent. It's because they're synonymous for fuck shit. You know what I'm saying? And some people are sympathetic. You know, we're not all fucking trolls under the bridge, but some people are just there for the motherfucking likes. Let's see the fat woman in the circus or the midgets, you know, jump on the trampoline, like old circus shit. It's the same thing that they did like in the turn of the century with circuses and Wrigley Brothers and stuff like that. These attractions that bring people, these oddities, are now basically on the intranet. Okay, and we're making
Yeah,
them famous.
Mhm.
yeah.
So,
I,
um,
I definitely agree that
and it's
the
like,
internet has brought out the freak show, and not
Mhm.
the
yeah,
good kind either.
no,
Not the good kind. Not the
I
good kind. Like the cheap circus, not like the Ringling Brother and Barnum and Bailey. You know how they had like the real good circus, and then
Yeah.
they had the like low budget circus, which was like the carnivals that would just come into town for like a
Yeah.
day or two, and the rides would be half
yeah,
broken.
Yeah. I
Like
remember that.
it's them type. Like that is
they're
what the internet
dangerous.
is giving us. The low budget version of
High quality.
celebrities that just seems very. Oh, she
Hmm.
not promoting her. Yo, the
Yeah.
devil is a lie.
Yes. Cat. Oh yeah. Gorilla. Hope she not is promoting no hair products.
Yeah, it's just
I'll just
certain
say,
things where I'm like, I don't, and it's like, is it because I'm old? I'm getting older. Like, oh no, it's because I have enough common sense to know that this is just ridiculous. Like, okay,
that's what I'm saying.
um, like no. And I will be completely honest. There are some people who got their big break on social media, and they do have talent, so they
Yeah.
do deserve to be
Yeah.
there. And it allowed us to find them, in a different way than they would have been found traditionally. So
Yeah.
not everybody who's found on social media is
Yeah,
terrible.
but
No,
it's like
not
you
at
said,
all.
the internet is a blessing and a curse at the same time.
Yeah.
Exactly. But
Their
then there's
talent.
those other ones where you like,
Yeah,
why do people like you again? Like, why do
And that's what the
people
guy in the
like?
article was saying, that it takes more to just, yes, you get that marketability, but that talent will take you more, and not just rely on what's available. And to go to these, like, yeah, people need to choose the good quality the celebrities have. I hear that. Yeah, they also celebrities that have good qualities. All right, so next paragraph. Back to role models and why celebrities are the inverse of role models. This guy he's not having it. Even when hard work and determination was the main reason for someone's success. Success in what? Success in one very specific part of their lives. Success in sports, music, movies, or writing does not mean a happy and fulfilling life. There are many aspects to having a meaningful life. Often focusing too much on one aspect has devastating effects on the others. It is what it takes to be a good role model. A one trick mind storming up the mountain, not giving an F of what you sacrifice along the way. Determination like this is equal parts admirable and sad. Being super successful at one thing is probably a good sign that the rest of your life is a bit of a mess, rather than a sign you have clocked the game of life. By no means do I want to take anything away from extraordinary achievements. However, we must give credit and praise when it is due, by not automatically assuming a star is living a life worth role modeling. They may well be doing so, but how could we know? We see them on TV or a movie screen, perhaps live a sporting match. How does that give you any insight into their life? What business is it in ours? What business is it of yours anyway? There are probably 1,000 of almost celebrities that you never heard of or heard of very briefly. They saw the writing on the wall and got out before their lives got consumed and ruined their family lives. They are living in the country somewhere with a modest home, two dogs, a chicken coop, and are unbelievably happy. You never heard of them, and they're glad you haven't. We'll stop there and then move from there. What y'all thought about that thing? So what I was going from that paragraph is, yes, we know they're successful in one part of their life. And this article, if y'all don't notice, he mentioned a lot of sports, so he's gonna talk about Tiger Woods as an example in this article. And how we're gonna use him as an example. He was really great in his craft of golfing. And so people thinking that, oh, because he was good in that, he's good in everything. But he, in this paragraph, saying that he was so focused on becoming great in golf, he probably wasn't good husband. He probably was a good person for his wife. He was out there cheating. He was doing these things. But because he was so great in golf, people automatically thought Tiger Woods was a staple guy. Oh, he's great. So he must be a great husband. He must be a good father. But now, no, we find out he's driving his car 4 or 5 times to the ditch and crashing them 4 or 5 times. And at the same time, he's cheating on his wife all this time while he was great. And because he was so great, he won championships. But at what cost? So that paragraph was basically was that. So yes, that's why we praise the celebrities, but we should not praise them so much because we don't know what's going on other areas. We just know that they're good at that craft. So to automatically praise them as role models, and we don't know what they're good. They could be somebody could be good rapping, but beating their wives every day in the household. We don't even know they're doing that until it comes
Dr.
out.
Dre.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yes, you're right. Yeah. So it's like that was a paragraph was mainly about that. Yes, they're good at one point, but they may not good at everything else. So as we analyzing these people, we got to think about that the outside things may not be good, and then we realize, oh, they're not good. They're not role models, but you already said they was a role model, so now you go retract it. So what you got to know about that paragraph?
I think it's just us falling for the illusion they're selling us, you know. And thank God we have platforms like this so we can discuss it. Because usually you'll probably think you crazy, like, do I really like this motherfucking song? Or is it because you play it all the damn time on the radio? It's in everything I look up on the internet. Or do I really like this fucking song? You would think you were stir crazy, but in actuality, you're being force fed said music from said person. But I think at this point it's a consumer product, and we all have to be just vigilant of the role model thing, what we consume, and what we give credence to. Kick all these motherfuckers off the pedestal if they don't deserve it. I believe, like Tracy said, I'm not the biggest Beyonce fan, but I love seeing that bitch perform because she puts in work. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
She puts in work. She gives a show. She gives like a Lena Horne type of show. She gives a Tina Turner type of show. She doesn't give me some basic two-step, you know, I'm not even gonna say nobody's name, but you get what I'm saying.
Yeah, I get it.
Right. I think it's all about how we consume our entertainment. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? And that's it. Because we can't be policing everybody. We just don't know what goes on in our fucking house is not going to fuck on. You know, we're not listening to that shit. So if we keep policing it, we'll just be in a fucking turmoil circle, just like fucking racism. Keep going and going and going.
I hear that, Tracy.
Do y'all remember Chameleonaire?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Do you know that he is like rich?
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
That one hit wonder who literally seen his rap career going like,
Yeah.
decided to take his money, pivot it another way,
Well.
and get out and invest in companies and business and big and all these things, and go, because
Yeah.
he's seen that this isn't really going the way I thought it would,
Right.
and
You
took
know,
that money and ran with it, and was able to pivot his life into something else.
Mm-hmm.
he
Then
says
you
his song
have,
with Sierra was his biggest hit, not his solo one. He got more money off the Sierra song,
yeah,
and that's
so
like I'm investing it.
yeah, so it's like there are artists like that where you're like, cool, okay, and then we can give you what 100,000 other one hit wonders who are broke,
Yeah.
broke,
Well.
like probably working with me or you, broke.
For real.
But at one point they were hot. What happened? They didn't truly have that it factor to continue on in the career that they wanted to go in, or that
Yeah.
they thought they would be good at. So I can appreciate the people who see the writing on the wall and choose to pivot off and do something else.
Mm-hmm.
And that just shows you that, okay, they get it. They're more than just that one thing that
Yeah.
they could do. Then you have those other people who will ride their career into the ground and never get past where they were, or never make it to the peak that they were at again
Mm-hmm.
because of it. So I definitely can agree with the statement of, if you're a one trick pony, that's all you have, you're probably not going to make it as far as someone who can see the writing on the wall, pivot, change, and go someplace else.
And be happy with it. Yeah.
You
Yeah.
ever think that
Be
the
happy.
record labels set them up for failure? Like they know we can get two good songs off these motherfuckers, and then we just gonna phase out their contract. We're gonna shelve everything they're doing, but we know we can get one or two songs out of them and get our money and push them to the curb.
I will say this. I don't think that a record label would ever knowingly write a contract for someone who they think is just going to be a one hit wonder. I don't think they go
Okay,
into it with that idea in mind. I
let's
do
see.
think
Let's say
that
if
they
their
go
record
into it.
fails.
Yeah,
If
I
their
think that they
record
go
fails.
into it giving them a contract for a very small thing to see how it does,
See how that
and then
goes.
base their what they do next based off of that.
Go from there. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I do think that, because to them, it's a business deal. It's an investment. Like,
True.
I can put this much into you, and if I lose it, I'm okay.
Yeah.
Now, if you then flip it and do something else with it, then we'll continue to go and renegotiate and things like that. But what was it? So when LL was on Def Jam, he had to do like 10 albums for them. 10.
Yeah.
It was like
Yeah, that was a lot of pressure.
10 whole
Did it,
albums.
right? That's
You
what I was
know
like.
what LL talking about? He had to pay for his own tour bus. His
Yeah,
own
he had this
like
crazy thing, and it took him forever to get those 10 albums, but he did it. He fulfilled his contract, and then he took that, then flipped that, and went to movies and television and things like that. And he didn't continue to pursue music, although he still does it like on the side as a hobby for fun, because
Mhm.
he truly enjoys it. But he was able to pivot, although he was in a contract that wasn't that great, but it gave him the opportunity to expand himself to other things. So I definitely can understand the concept of being able to pivot and move and change with the rolling tide, and kind of what you see happening.
Yeah. Yeah. And Dakota mentioned Tiger Woods' black side was the champion because Tiger only was winning when he was cheating. And I think the article mentioned something like that. He was great in his prime, even though he was cheating behind his wife. he was great in his winning that championship because he was doing that. But she said once the Asian side stuck to that one woman, he started to lose. Oh, that. And Rose, she does have good edges. Oh. You talk about freaking Gorilla Good Girl edges.
You know what? I kind of see this is the other side of the coin because I kind of feel sorry for Tiger Woods. My brother, may he rest in peace, described this how sometimes he'll be put in a situation where the girl is just like on him, and he'll know good and goddamn well he got a girl at home, but he's like, fuck, you know, and he puts himself in an awkward situation and end up cheating. Okay, so my brother is just a regular nigga who's making his money. Imagine you being Tiger Woods and all these bitches just throwing everything at you. Voila! Where you want it? The bathroom, the bar. Just imagine you having the prestige of Tiger Woods and the amount of vagina he got tossed his way. And that's what happens when you don't have discipline. You know what I'm saying? He should have been faithful. I'm not excusing it, but just in reality, I'm sure there was a lot of harlots and Delilahs out there trying to pick from that motherfucking tree.
I hear that. Well.
I don't feel bad for Tiger Woods or OJ because neither one of them wanted to be black. Tiger said he cobbling Asian. I was like, what is that? Cobbling Asian. I was like, what is that? You started with Caucasian, mixing some black, and then ended up with Asian? Oh, okay, just so you don't have to claim us. And then OJ tells him, I'm not black, I'm OJ. So clearly, I don't feel bad for either one of them. I don't.
So,
I feel bad for either one of them.
This article further explain using Tiger Woods as example, what I was saying earlier. So take Tiger Woods as example. An amazing golfer, maybe the best ever. Young golfers looking up to him as a shining example of the pinnacle of their sport. Parents of young golfers holding up Tiger as a role model for their youngsters to aspire to. Then Tiger made some personal decisions that are not so ethically sound, but also not illegal, and unfortunately not all that uncommon. He was still the best golfer in the world during all those years of infidelity. His performance only dropping during the time his dirty laundry was being made public, a result of his stress of being caught, I suppose. When he was hiding the truth from his family and he was at his most deceitful, he was arguably playing his best golf ever. His best ever golf. More evidence to it takes zero morals or ethics to be good at one very specific thing. Tiger was at his best doing his worst personal behavior. Is that not proof enough that sporting skill and life skills are not as so interconnected as we thought? And let me see. We're going to stop there and then we'll move on to the next part. Let's see.
I'm just going to say that man is right. He's absolutely right. Because I'll tell you right now, my favorite Mary J is What's the 411 Mary. It's right there. It's the Share My World Mary. It's the cracked out Casey and JoJo Mary. It's that Mary in the midst of her hurt, pain, and all of that. That's my favorite Mary. So yeah, he got a point out. I'll give him that. I ain't even got no argument for that one.
Well, what you say?
My favorite Mary.
I mean, I agree with what he said this segment too.
It's clear as day, you know what I'm saying? But this is what happened when you're under the public eye's microscope and your business is everybody's business. So we all up in your shit. He can't do right for wrong, you know?
But do you think that they're at the epitome, like the pinnacle of their thing, and they're at their height and their greatest because they hyper focus on their craft to get to tune out everything else that's going on in their life?
Well, Tiger Woods, because his dad trained him from Jump Street. You know what I'm saying? His dad was diligently trained him to be one of the best golfers that we've ever seen. But after his parents died, he did spiral down because all he did have was his wife and his family. And again, you know, I'm just using the other side of the coin. People, like, if you go to Hollywood clubs and shit, there'd be people out there trying to act like they famous and they ain't even motherfucking famous. And bitches be falling for it. Niggas be falling for it. And it's just, I guess, because you're a shiny star or something. But again, like Cuba Gooding Jr., that's another person. If you go to a Hollywood, you'll see Cuba Gooding Jr. on the top of the bar. You don't think all them bitches is right there, like,
like,
and now they talk about
show me the money. Okay,
Yeah,
got it.
so it's you know what? To balance it down, I'm not a celebrity.
Mhm.
Okay, I'm a regular Nathaniel, a Neil Hurston, a husband, an uncle, a brother, a community activist, and that's what I would like. We talk about this shit because it's salacious and it's entertaining as fuck, but I don't want to be a celebrity because I don't want nobody on my lawn. I don't want nobody trying to get my birth certificate.
Nobody try to figure out your address, none of that.
Exactly. I don't want to have no Temptation Island. You know what I'm saying? None. I'm good with it. I think it's too
Oh,
much
so
to.
that was Tiger's real personality. That could probably be it. He probably was
No, that
like,
was like Tiger was on those pills though, you guys, because it's fucking sciatica, so that can fuck up his thought process as well. You have to look at opioids as drug use. They're not trying to say it because it's Tiger Woods,
yeah,
but excessive use of opioids is considered drug. You know what I'm saying?
but well, I think that's okay.
And he's had that for a long time. But they don't say Tiger has a drug problem or an alcoholic problem. They dare not say that.
So this guy continues to say, "It is your fault for being upset at Tiger, not his." And he gonna explain why. Tiger Woods is not
Okay.
a relationship expert. He's never got paid to give relationship advice. Why should people be upset at him when he f up his relationship and family life? I mean, sure, his wife and family have every right to be upset, but why are we upset? How does it affect you? You never did anything dishonest, or your relationship was perfect. Could you not see a little or maybe a lot of yourself in Tiger? Be honest with yourself. Let's say it boggles my mind, or it blocked my mind that yeah, it's blocked, only a block. There was so much hate and judgment for Tiger Woods not being a good role model. His golfer career gave him zero skills in relationship. I'm sure if you ask his ex-wife, golfer took a lot away from his relationship. You can't win a PGA golf tournament without extraordinary amounts of time invested. Can that be the same for relationships? Time is a key investment to success. It would take a near perfect relationship to survive the amount of celebrity. Society is so quick to anoint people with role model status. Usually, that person has no desire to even be a role model. They just want to do what they're good at. Society is so quick to take the unwanted role model title away at the first sign of any questionable, usually private behavior. I mean, what y'all thought about that? I mean, we all kind of gave our opinions about that so far, but what y'all thought about what
Was
he
I
said?
mad at Tiger for cheating? No, I wasn't mad at Tiger for cheating. I I guess in my mind process and thought process of it, did I really expect him to be faithful? No.
See, yep.
So
Because you
why
didn't
would I
really
be
put
mad
him
at
in a
him for
high
cheating
pedestal
when I
like
didn't expect him to be faithful? Like,
that.
My thing is, look, Tiger. I don't even think Tiger Woods should be like the subject of this argument. I understand where he's coming from because he's another one of those celebrity sports, figures. But okay, look, if Tiger Woods was the one holding the golf club, chasing his wife in the car and ran into the tree, what do y'all think the type? He's a crazed lunatic. He's a no, all of that. Even if his wife cheated, so it's the white public. I would say protect Tiger Woods. They're very selective of how they depict him because they love him more than Negroes do. They love that they have this cobbler Asian kicking ass on the golf course because they love golf so much. Okay, but if he was the one with the golf swinging that, he would have been demonized and put on a spigot. Okay, because he was then would have been filed as a black man. Fuck that Asian white shit. Nope, you're black nigga. We locking your ass up because you were swinging this golf club at this white woman. And as I brought that up because even though he did cheat, she was the aggressor and he was fleeing the scene. She did fucking break the windows and swing that shit. So why didn't she just get away with like, oh, she got cheated on, so she was, allotted to do so? But
yeah, get the grit.
if he would have
Yeah,
did that,
get the
he would
grit.
have been in hell.
Get the
Get the
grip.
grit. Get the grit. Absolutely. Yes, yes, she was. Because the level of public humiliation that comes with that. is a lot, which is why you need to cheat respectfully if you're one of those type of people. Cheat respectfully. Because that
How
is
do
a
you cheat
lot to put
respectfully,
on somebody's
Tracy?
back,
Please let
knowing that
how?
you done got,
How?
We're gonna talk about that. That's gonna be one of our social topics. Cheating
knowing
respect.
that you
How do you
got
cheat
that.
respectfully?
She believes it.
How do
So
you cheat respectfully?
yeah.
Yeah.
How do you cheat
We're gonna talk about
respectfully?
that, y'all.
Well, that's real
Take that
easy.
for
You
the
can do
topic.
that, no problem. But I will say this when it comes to Tiger. The way that the media turned on him when they found out that he cheated, black, white, or indifferent, they sure did vilify that man. Even before she came with the golf club and everything else, it was like they wanted to stop promoting him as, even though he was a number one golfer, they
Yeah.
wanted to stop his promotion. They wanted to stop putting him on like the commercials. They wanted to stop him being the headliner of these tours because golf has a very wholesome image. The
Yeah.
image of golf is very wholesome. It's very family friendly. That is the image of golf. So when you are the face of golf
Yep.
and then you mess up their wholesome image, that is very different. So I can
Especially being a
definitely
Negro. Oh
understand
hell no. He
exactly.
gotta
And
go.
he was the first one, and they accepted him, and he was the shining star. And
Yeah.
then he
So he messed up.
turned their family friendly sport into something salacious. Like, it's not football or basketball, it's golf. It was a very different type of feeling, and they did turn on him very quickly, very quickly,
Definitely.
and was not trying to hear nothing that man had to say. Which, I mean, yeah, I get it. So I mean, they did kind of go hard in the paint for him real quick though.
Yeah. So we got
Yeah.
two left paragraphs, and then we're gonna end it there. And but I do appreciate y'all. I do appreciate this copy. I love this. Let me see. Rose said it's frustrating to see the big people, famous people abusing their power and forgetting where they come from, setting the wrong example for others. And Dakota said she wasn't any. She was a champion. She knew what was getting into. Oh, okay, Dakota. Yeah, it is frustrating forgetting where they came from and setting the wrong examples. But were they a person that maybe can you argue that they probably was always that person all a long time? We just choose to look at just that one point and just thought that he was great and everything else, or they just choose to be fake about it and then decided to be a bad role model. So,
Not that
who,
they're being marketed to us, so we
yeah,
can't
that's
take
the thing. Is it the person or is us that's the
them.
fault of that? Mhm.
We
Us,
don't really know them.
it's us.
It's probably us, the
It's
society.
us.
Mhm.
It's definitely society because they market the people as what they want them to be presented as. I
Mhm.
want the world to see you this way. This is how I'm going to market you. And then, and it's based off of the perception that we give them. Because there are a lot of, like, especially athletes that we stigmatize as, oh, he's a bad boy. He's this, he's that. And we put that image on them regardless of how they truly are. We
Right.
see them, we make this opinion, and they run with it. And then if you
Yeah.
ever notice, their brand really gets targeted to what we say they are or how we see them.
What we're willing to buy, what they can
Yeah, what we
affect.
was
Absolutely.
that. That's true.
You know what? A long time ago, I had a theory.
Hmm.
Um, as much money as they pay athletes of whatever sport you're in, I believe they need to pay the teachers that much and the doctors that much because that is the basis of society. It's like if you don't water the soil appropriately, what do you expect to sprout out of that? But they put so much money in this entertainment, NFL, give these people so much money to get battered and bruised. What about these teachers getting battered and bruised every day by our badass kids, nieces and nephews, and things
Well,
like
that's a
that?
tough
And if
job
you
How
to
much
fill.
money can it make? Look, but how much money can it really make off of a teacher?
but
How much, like, you have to
exactly,
think, we're a
exactly,
capitalist society. How much
exactly.
Yeah,
money can they really
that's
make
true.
off of
That's what
those
they
things?
get pretty much.
They're not marketable. You can't make money
Yeah,
off of that. So
yeah,
because they can't make money off of that, they are not really interested in investing in things that do not turn a
Matter.
profit.
Mhm.
yeah. That is true. Ain't that a bitch? That's just the truth. We can't even go nowhere. This ain't even Jenga or Monopoly. We just stuck right there. Like this is what they gave us. Until these motherfuckers get their shit together, we should not think anything better of them.
Mhm.
No.
Well, so we're gonna read this last thing and this last two paragraph, and then call it a night because I know it's a weeknight and if people gotta go work tomorrow. But I enjoy this thing, so let's do this. Why do we expect celebrities to be role models, especially for children? Often parents will unconsciously, sometimes not so unconsciously, pressure their children to look up to celebrities. I give them the benefit of the doubt. They likely don't realize the disservice they are doing to their kids. I would suggest a good rule of thumb would be don't have a role model that you don't know personally, and defiantly don't encourage your kids to. Do you want a role model for your kids? Take a look in the mirror. If you push a role model status onto celebrities and get upset at the first sign that they make a human mistake, you are lazy. You are a lazy parent outsourcing the job of the role model to a stranger that you don't know. I'm not saying you are a bad person or even that you are doing it on purpose. You have been conditioned to do it. But effing quit it. You better than that. You are a kid's role model. You take the job first. That's the kind of definition of being a parent. If you do outsource part of your job, you make sure you know who you are giving the honor of such a position to. Additionally, there is no rule that you or any other person must bear the cross of one and only one role model. The task is too great for only any person. None of us are perfect. We'll end there. So, what you thought about the last two parts? Because um, despite his kind of word is, but we do agree that he's a direct, but he's just speaking his truth. And to me, he was saying that it's up to us to monitor the role model qualities that we want kids to have and not put all the responsibilities on the celebrities. So, for example, when I know many of us saw that video that Cardi B was playing her song WAP in her house, and that her daughter walked in the kitchen, she turned the song off, and everybody was all, "Oh my God, how you got this song?" And then your own daughter don't want to listen to the song and everything. But Cardi B said, that's my child. I suggest who she listens to, even though it's my own song. And you have every right to not even have the song playing in your house. So why is my responsibility to not even make a music video, even though we know that song is for adults? But we know that little people look at kids. We know that young girls look at Cardi. But Cardi herself said, I'm not a role model for thing. I do adult music. So is it supposed to be our responsibility to make sure they monitor the music essence or
I think I'm at a disadvantage because I'm not a parent. I'm an uncle. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm,
And it's like when I go up, my niece and nephew come around. I'm
mhm,
conscious just regularly of the music I'm about to play because I don't want to influence them negatively. You know what I'm saying? But
mhm,
if you be like, can you play this song from this Wooty Woo guy? You know, I'll play it and I'll listen to what he's saying. And if it's not good, I'll be like, nephew, you gotta listen to these words or we can't play this song, you know? But as a parent, you have because I could drop my niece and nephew off, go back home to your mama. Bye. But as a parent, you have to be with them all the time and when they're away from you and stuff like that. So you have to police a lot more. But I just imagine that that's the basics that you will instill in your child. You don't need to be listening to that shit. You're not a drug dealer. You're not no gangbanger. You are not no hoochie. Keep your clothes on Instagram. I just assume that my child would just stay in place. But that's why I said I'm kind of slighted on the opinion of
mhm.
how they should parent the children via the role model.
Yeah, I'm not a parent myself, so I can't tell how other people should parent their child either. But at the same time, like we know that when I have my nephew with me, sometimes he likes to watch videos that were a lot of cursing at him, cursing, and YouTube videos. And I say, you need to change it, and he would change it. And I was like, granted, you curse in the house. Sometimes I might curse, but I know overly curse. Yeah, I know I don't overly curse like that. But it was constant. I said, oh, you got to change that, boy. No. But at the same time, I can't tell his mom what she had to do with his son and everything. But we do know that kids does impressionable seeing things. So, Tracy, you're a parent yourself, and tell me your thoughts about it. Because what he was saying, do you agree with what he was saying, or do you don't agree? What?
So I look at it from two sides of the same coin. One
Mm-hmm.
side, my parents are old, like
Mm-hmm.
old. Like my parents are the age of most people's grandparents. That's just what it is.
Mm-hmm.
So for me, when it comes to things, I have a very old traditional way of parenting children.
Okay.
Children. Um, and then on the flip side of the coin, I have a niece who has kids that are a year or 2 years younger than my son. So they're very close in age, who have very different styles of parenting. But
Mm-hmm.
what I would say is until he was, I would say like 10 or 11,
Mm-hmm.
up until that time, it was very structured on what he watched, what he listened to, what he was around. And then after, like, when he turned like 10 or 11, I loosened the reins and then started explaining to him
Yeah.
what this is, what it meant, what that looks like, what it does, and these kind of things. Because
Right.
to me, they are very impressionable over these particular years in their life where they
Yeah.
are impressionable.
Mm-hmm.
Like my son, like he wouldn't say kill. He was like, "I'm gonna destroy you." Like when he was playing video games and stuff like that, and they used to pick at him. Be like, "What do you mean?" He's like, "Listen, that's what this is." Like he didn't say kill. He said destroy. Like we always found better way of saying certain things
Mm-hmm.
to expand his vocabulary so that he didn't have to curse. I cursed like a sailor. Once he got older, I continued to curse.
Mm-hmm.
He was well around me
Controller.
cursing and knew good and doggone well. I ain't about to say that. But by the same token, he had enough adjectives and verbs in his vocabulary to substitute for it to then
Mm-hmm.
curse you out without cursing you out at a pretty decent age. Um, so I would say when children are younger, they are much more impressionable. And those are the times that you really want to instill those types of thoughts, values, understanding, and really take the time to listen to what they're watching, what they're seeing, what they're understanding, and because that's their formative years. After, like I said, for him, it was like 10, maybe like 11, where we started to loosen that up and then just explain to him what things were. Yep, this is it. You're gonna see it. You're gonna hear it. Like he he went to Catholic school and originally, so that also was very structured for him, where he couldn't say or do certain things just because of the environment that I kept him in. Um, but then after a certain age, I was like, well, I can't shelter you from everything. Here's the world, but let me explain this to you. This is
Right.
why this is that,
Yeah.
this is that, blah 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 blah. Then I have, like I said, a niece, and her kids are very close to the age of my son, and TV raised them.
Yeah.
She was a single mom. She worked. She didn't really have the ability to do other things, so TV
Your niece
raised them.
gonna square up. Your niece gonna square up with you. Because we keep talking about her. She gonna be like,
Let
"You
me tell
talk
you
about me
something.
on these
The
YouTube
day
streams."
the day she tries is the day she's gonna catch these hands. Period, point blank.
You know,
And
Trace
she
is a
know better.
liar. She's right that
She's
lie.
telling all my
And
business.
she know better. Look, and she know better. Her mama, and her boyfriend all know better. But they can run up, get done up anytime they're ready to. When you're born ready, you ain't got to get ready, baby.
Yeah.
On site,
Oh.
no problem. Act like you got a problem. I'll pull up at your house,
Mhm.
ready.
Act like you know.
Act like you ready. But again, I don't lie on anybody. When I say one more time, the TV raised her kids. Period, point blank. The internet raised her kids. Period, point blank. That's what it is. Her parenting style was they're my friends, not my kids. Very different to my parenting style.
Yeah.
Also, she had trouble out of her kids that I don't have.
Mhm.
They come over my house, they know better. Listen, they wrote all over her couch, all over her wall. I
Oh
was like,
no.
I wish you might. I
Mhm.
wish you might.
Uh,
I don't know what you thought, but let me tell you what you ain't about to do. Okay? I
yeah.
took her son and hung that joker up in my closet. Like, because I have my ironing rack. You know what you put the ironing board on. I hung his butt up in the closet. I hung him up in the closet and closed the door and turned the lights off. He's scared of the dark. Bet you won't.
Wow.
Bet you won't. I ain't got to beat you. Look, I promise you, he sat his little butt still after
We
that.
gonna
He ain't
use
right on
we gonna
not
use
near the other.
the
And then he
48
washed
hours
my wall.
scare tactics on you.
And then you
Forceful
washed my wall. Okay? What? I tell people all the time. I
Stacey
personally,
interrogating
you
him,
know,
brought him out the closet and offered him some fried chicken. Like, if you tell me everything, you can have this fried chicken.
look here.
Like, on the
I
very
didn't
first
have, but then there's also things that I didn't have problems. Like her older daughter tried to jump on her. I was like, oh, you better than me. I was like, you better than me. Because I was like, oh, I will be in somebody's jail and you will be in
day,
somebody's
for
hospital.
real. That's a
That is just
no-no,
not
for
my
real.
that's not my
That's
ministry.
Caucasian as hell.
But again, the TV race, she wants to be friends with her kids. Again, they be like, oh no, I don't want to go. I don't want to go over Auntie Tracy's house because she'll beat me. Absolutely, 100%. I'll beat the bottom of your feet so you don't bruise, but I bet you'll never walk the same. Tell you how this works. Don't play with me. I don't have those problems out of her kids. Her kids don't curse at me. Her kids don't think that they're gonna jump on me. Her kids don't do those things with me. But they try her because the TV raised her kids and they wanted to be friends and she believed in no discipline and all those. That's your house. You do what you want in your house. That's good for
Not
you.
over here, motherfucker.
Not over here. So her kids will either say, A, I don't want to come to Auntie house, or B, they'll come over here and act like they got some good common sense. And she was like, how are they like this with you? Because they could never do what they do at your house at my house. They could never, ever. And my son be quick. He be like, oh, you might not want to do that. Don't do that. You don't want to do that. Don't do that.
We
Don't
don't
do
do
that.
that over here.
Yeah, we
Your
don't.
mama
Listen,
will jump in by herself.
I was at the listen. You know how you be at the mall and you seen a kid act up, and I looked at him and I was like, if you ever, he was like, I ain't crazy. I don't want to die. I ain't gonna do that. Like that is just suicide. Like yeah, I know they're about to commit suicide. Don't you dare ever in your life think. But we have very different parenting styles for our kids, and again, you know, that's just what it was. No child should be listening to adult content. My son isn't allowed to touch anything embarrassing. Anything. Okay,
Well,
so
I
I don't smoke. I've never smoked. That's never been my ministry. I don't like the smell of it.
Oh
So
well, thanks for
I was
signaling me
missed.
out. Yeah,
But but I
fine.
will tell you that I started drinking young, like
You know what?
13 young.
Oh, you better than me. I started drinking,
Yeah.
so I was 18.
No, I started drinking young, but it wasn't like it wasn't like my parents knew I was drinking. It wasn't that either. They didn't know I was drinking, but I was drinking.
18.
Yeah, no, I was drinking young. And I would drink with my brother, my oldest brother, who his mentality was, hey, someone's going to give it to you. Someone's going to try and get you to do it because you are a young lady and try and take advantage of you. So we're going to give you some sort of tolerance so that it's you are functional to not take advantage of you for the first time that you drink, because that just seemed detrimental. And because I was like, oh, okay. So I was like,
That's super old school because my parents said my dad and my stepmom did the same thing with marijuana, and they
yeah,
let me know you're doing these drugs. They named every drug that you don't do, but they were okay with marijuana as long as you do it in the house. And
yeah. So it
I
was,
was smoking weed.
oh,
I didn't start drinking until I was like 23 because I was
oh
smoking weed
I kind of lied. I started drinking since
since
I
I
was
was
20,
17.
21. Senior year in college.
So I
That's
never
I
have
started
to
drinking.
worry about like the
no,
pressures of
I,
drinking because my parents allowed me to smoke weed. So
I'll tell you this right now. Listen, I was drinking adults under the table, and it was like, "Oh, we gonna get drunk," and I was like, "Get drunk, look, get drunk, and take advantage of who? Okay, we about to run up this $200 bar tab, baby, like, and you about to be hot mad because
hey
I'm still gonna
baby,
be functional and happy. I'm
baby.
good," which was very different than
Yeah,
other
because
people.
you don't seem
But
like
it
an
was.
angry drunk. You don't seem like you'll be an angry
Oh, that's
drunk.
why I just don't drink brown liquor. I don't do that. Do that.
Yeah, they don't do that
But
dark
like,
liquor.
no, I don't do that. I don't do that dark liquor, not at all. But it was one of those things where I didn't drink around my parents. Like I wasn't crazy. I wasn't trying to die. But it was my brother because like I said, I'm the baby of 10. I have 6 older brothers and 3 sisters, and I'm the baby. So it was definitely more of the okay, so this is what we're gonna do. You're gonna do this, you're gonna do that. I was also 5'3", 140 pounds. I
Knocking
was
niggas
tiny. Hmm?
out.
I was
Knocking
tiny.
niggas out cold.
Listen, I was tiny. So when I tell you, my brothers used to like tear me up. I mean, like, so they be like, oh, I'm like, no, I can take a hit. Like, a hit is, like, mm-mm. So when people like, oh, you feel like, no, I fight because my brothers was very like, okay, you have you ever played helicopter where somebody like hold your hands and spin you around? Well, my
Yep.
brother did that and like let go of me like midair and like I skidded like through the grass and into the bushes. Oh, my dad tore him up. But when I tell you my ability, like I'm super resilient. I'm like, okay, yay, let's go again. And I'm like, I'm bleeding and stuff
Mm-mm.
because
Bounce
to
back.
me, it wasn't like a big deal. Some people like, I'm like, no, like and they be like, oh, so I was like, I have 6 brothers and they wanted me to be tough and street smart and wise and not be taken advantage of and like so they treated me just like one of the boys. Like so when people say things I'm like, no, I have a very male dominant thought process about things and very cut and dry and not as emotional because I have 6 brothers and they did things in a certain way so that, you know, I would be okay in the world, which I thank them for now. I didn't enjoy it then, but I thank
But
them
you know
for it
better
now.
now. Yeah, because
Like
I
I
did
thank them
the same
for it
thing. My
now,
brother did the same thing. My sister
because
did
it
too.
was
I think it's
just
because I was
different.
gay. Didn't want me to be a victim, but they did the same shit. You were going to
Yeah.
have to learn to take a hit. You're going to have to learn to fight back. You're going to have to learn to talk shit. You're going to learn
Oh
to
yeah.
walk away, all the above, because
Oh
you
yeah.
were this. And I was like, oh shit.
Look.
Now I'm going to go. I'm like, thank you, Jesus.
Yeah. So people were like, oh, like I'm like most words don't bother me because my brothers was like vicious, like cutthroat, like like who hurt your whole feeling and your whole soul. And like they just did. They were like completely so I was like, words don't really bother me. Like I've been called more names in my life that don't like no sweat off my back, but it's like personal space. It's like if they get too close, because again, I was only 5'3", 140 pounds. So they was like, you swing, you don't stop swinging, you get on top and you keep swinging until someone pulls you off. Fight for
Right.
your life. Don't stop. Because the likelihood that they could overpower you is very high if you stop. So don't stop. So it's things like that so for me it's like this is normal. Um, which I guess wouldn't be normal if you didn't grow up with 6 older brothers who treated you like a brother. Like so it probably wouldn't be normal. But that was kind of normal for me. So my
Yeah,
son,
that was your
because he
normal.
has no siblings, like it's him. It's like just him. So he has been sh- treated very differently. Like there was no cursing around him until he was like 12. He went to Catholic school. He went to private school. He has a tutor. He is very articulate. He doesn't play sports. He is the black person you would know. Like he is like this. Um, he got into a private college on full scholarship
That's
for like
great.
academics. So like he's very different in the aspect that he didn't kind of have that, oh, we're going to fight all day and wrestle and teach you how to do things and do these kind of things. But now I kind of feel bad because he is so sheltered that he's like, oh gosh, somebody's going to pressure you into drinking. So let's try this. Someone's going to pressure you into this. Let's do this. And then he's like, no, mom, like I know that. And I was like, yeah, I know, but it's very different when you're not used to someone trying to pressure you into doing things.
And you're not at home, so you're
He,
away.
he's not had it. Like at
Yeah,
school, most of the people was like this,
yeah,
and he was like, they smoke cigarettes, and he was like, I don't like the smell of cigarettes. So I was like, that wasn't really a problem, but it's like marijuana, alcohol, things like other types of drugs that he isn't used to. People like, you're in college, you're going to be living on your own, you're going to be doing these things. There's a good likelihood that you'll probably be pressured into trying some things. Maybe I should have set better boundaries on that and not
Yeah, because
sheltered him as much.
you have to realize that everybody wasn't raised like him, and some niggas is waiting to go to college to bust it wide open and go crazy with it because they're away from their parents for the first time, and they're gonna try everything under the rainbow.
yeah. But I think you just gotta know what his personality is. If you know he's very, because I was very strong-willed in college, so now people can't really pressure me if I didn't want to do something. Like drinking, a lot of my people in college was drinking, and I didn't start drinking until I was senior year in college. So I was like, I'll try it, and I tried it. I like it, like that. I'm still not a heavy drinker. I'm still very lightweight, so it's like I know my limit. So like that, but yeah. So I think he would probably be okay if he knows like he's very strong-willed. It's all right. I know this. It's like that. But it could be peer pressure. But I think it's all part of his personality. If he's really strong-willed, that he not know that people go do something and he not gonna do it, then he won't get influenced as much. So maybe.
Yeah. So I think maybe I should have had some more bad role models to help show him what not to do.
You made some right, so he's gonna be good in college.
Wait, Tracy, to tell him this nigga been in jail for 15 years. Do you want to go to jail for 15 years?
my child's thought process is very simple. He was like, so if I don't want to have to tell you about it, I probably shouldn't do it. And I was like, that is a great philosophy to have in life, because I'll kill you. So that's a great philosophy to have in life. That's awesome. That's a great philosophy to have. Like I was a teen mom. I got pregnant in high school. My parents were very pissed off at me. But he specifically said, he was like, okay, I'm not gonna start dating until I'm in college because I don't want to be a teen parent and make you sad. I was like, oh, that's so sweet. And now he has like 4 or 5 little people that he talking to, but he was like, no, once I go to college and I get my car, then we'll. I was like, oh, so you was literally like just gonna get out of high school. Like I told you I would get out of high school. So like his first day of freshman year, I'm like, oh Lord, pray for me. He is one of the people who was like, I'm gonna give you my word, so this is what I'm gonna do. So hopefully college isn't too, but oh man, he about to lose his ever loving mind.
Don't bring no babies, don't bring none of that. We go good.
Yeah. I don't listen, he can bring a baby all he wants to. Just as long as you graduate from college, I'm fine. I will help you raise a child. I don't have a problem with that. I just need you to graduate. That's all I need. Yeah, I got my bachelor's. He's going for his master's in 5 years. You get your listen. You do that, and I'm gonna get off your back. I'm cool. Like I'll get off your back. But I just need you to finish. That's all I need. That's all I need.
Well,
that's it. Then I'm done. But I don't know. So maybe I should have gave him some more bad influences. Maybe damn. Is it too late to start now? Like,
it's way too
late to start now.
He got his own personality now.
Yeah, that's your judgment that he won't do be great. So he won't be on.
Shit, he's my child. I don't trust his judgment to do a damn thing. I don't trust my own judgment half the time.
I created your judgment. What you mean?
Exactly. It's terrible.
I can't trust it.
I know I can't trust it. I created it. Shoot, he got part of me in him. Shoot, he about to be terrible.
Oh my God. Oh yeah. So I really appreciate y'all being with me on this Monday. It was really good. I love it. Tequila, Renee, Rose, Brandy, Alec, all y'all who just joined in today. I really appreciate it. And all the people who didn't participate in the chat. Y'all watching, appreciate y'all. Next Monday will be like an open discussion. There's no particular topic. The following week will be a specific topic. But next week will be an open discussion. So we're going to talk about any other thing. Adult conversations. We're going to talk about relationships. We're going to talk about friendship. We can talk about anything, sex, whatever. We can talk about what's coming to mind. If y'all have questions for the panel, ask some questions, ask us. Keep it cute, like keep it PG, y'all, because we don't want our channel just monetized. But we will just
we're gonna talk about how Sir Neil used to lay it low and spread it wide. We're gonna talk about his
we gonna
whole
talk about how
daddy.
he laid on
What?
it.
No, hell no. Hell no.
Talk about it. So we're gonna have a good time next
Mizzle
week.
done gave me his before. I done got one of his stories, so I gotta get one of yours.
So,
Oh,
so
no,
we
well, I got the bad boy story, but I wasn't busting it open and spreading wide.
We're gonna talk about a lot of different topics. We could anything we want to talk about, it's open thing. We want to talk about shows that we've seen that we want to talk about. Let's hear it. Could be an open discussion, no specific topic. I will have some here if nobody want to bring any topics up, but it's gonna be open. So next Monday. So it's like a chill, kiki kind of moment day. And even though most of our time is like that, we cracking jokes, but it's not a specific topic. And Sunday, it's gonna be Married First Sight and Ready to Love. So we're gonna talk about those two topics. Other than that, y'all enjoy y'all rest of the week. Have a safe week. Get y'all rest. I know Sunday it's still early for him, so he will chill day.
I'm about to make some burritos, boy.
It's 10:30 for us at Eastern time, so I'm working work tomorrow because I know I have to work in the afternoon, so I still can get a little rest and watch some. I'm not gonna watch some shows till I go to bedtime. But love all of y'all. Thank you, Tracy. Thank you, Sir Neil. Y'all the best. I love the topic. Love everything. Love y'all. Peace out. Okay, flat out. All right.
Mizzle Social Corner. I got a question for you. Are you ready to answer? Mizzle Social Corner. I got a question for you. Are you ready to answer? Mizzle Social Corner. I got a question for you. Are you ready to answer? Mizzle Social Corner. I got a question for you.
All right, good night, y'all. Thank you, Rose, for joining the chat. If you come back next week or Sunday, enjoy it. Subscribe, like everything. Please share my videos if y'all can. And I see y'all. Have a great night, y'all. Love it. Bye.